You sit down. And we're like, yo, how'd your meeting go?
Already lit a little bit.
Yeah. A little bit. Yo, how'd your meeting go? And you're like, yeah, good. Like, I'm on the team. Ha ha ha. We're like, yeah, da da da. And then you were like, but Coach Auriemma told me you two said I don't pass enough. And we were like, ugh. I actually think the words were, Coach Auriemma said, you two call me a black hole. Today's guest is Tina Charles. Tina is a future WNBA Hall of Famer. She's an MVP, a 2-time scoring champ, 8-time All-Star, and a 3-time Olympic gold medalist. She was selected to the WNBA All-Defensive Team 4 times and made the All-WNBA team 9 times. She's also someone I've known for a very long time. And before we get into this interview, I do want to pull back the curtain a little bit because something interesting happened. A few weeks ago, we recorded what was supposed to just be a regular old full episode, and you're going to hear a chunk of that shortly. And it was a great conversation. We went to dinner that night and we're just hanging out, we're talking. And it was in that conversation that she started to express like wanting to talk about more. I kind of asked her like, how do you think the interview went? And she was like, great, but I would have said more here, or I would have dug deeper there, or I would have told that story here. And it really got me thinking. I think at times I've tried to maybe just avoid having those types of conversations, not sure if the person on the other side of the interview is down to go deeper. But then I realized, through Tina, that I can be a safe place if players do want to do that. So this interview is a little different in that it's going to be a 2-parter. We recorded the first part 2 weeks ago. We sat down again for part 2, tried to get into those layers a little bit, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. But before we get to that, you know what time it is. Time for Sue's View. All right, first up for Sue's View, the European Championships are over. So we've got a lot of the European players that left. They're now back. Of course, the one that really jumps out in terms of her impact is Leonie Fiebisch. New York is 11-1 when Fiebisch is there, and 2-5 without her. She has the second highest net rating on the team outside of John Cole Jones, which obviously plays a huge role because they've also been without JJ. But I digress because I'm not really bringing this up just to highlight Fiebisch. When you look around the league and you see the signing of European players as free agents, it's having an impact. And they might not be making the all-star team, so it's not that type of impact, but they are surely like tipping the scale for a lot of teams. And I just think it's been really interesting to both, I'll give a shout out to GMs here, to both watch GMs kind of navigate this space, go out and find the talent and then sign it, right? So you're talking New York Liberty signing Leonie Fiebisch. You're talking Phoenix Mercury signing Monica Koa-Makani. The Golden State Valkyries with Janelle Salon. So this is happening a lot in free agency. And the real reason I bring it up is first, I know firsthand about that impact. In 2010, we signed Jana Vesela, a player from Czech Republic. She had, first of all, she was so versatile. Actually reminds me a lot of Fiebisch, or Fiebisch reminds me of her. Could shoot threes, could post up, played tough defense. She was 6'4". It's almost carbon copy. And that impact was felt. I mean, we won a championship because of her. She was a big key to that roster. But she only stayed 1 year. I'm sure most of that is because of the money. And now that we're going to have a new CBA, which will likely increase the salary, I'm just starting to think, like, are we going to see more European players? More than that, are we going to see more European players drafted? Because what you saw this year with Golden State, with their 5th pick, they went out and drafted 19-year-old Jussi Jokic from Lithuania as like an investment, right? Because what these European players are surely proving is that they play overseas in their home countries or somewhere in EuroLeague. They build their game, they get mature in their game, they come over, they have impact. Another great example of that we're actually seeing with the Connecticut Sun right now. Layla Khan got drafted last year, brought over this year. She's just getting started, but in their win against Seattle, she had like 8 points on 50% shooting. So I'm starting to wonder, it's not something we've never seen. We've seen European players get drafted, for sure. But I'm wondering if this is going to become just something that teams do more often, right? Like draft the youngster that has potential that you can get the rights to early on, as opposed to having to find them in free agency. So just something I'm thinking about. Next up, The All-Star teams are set. They've been announced. And this year, there are 3 rookies, Paige Beckers, Sonia Citron, and Kiki Iriafen. And I'm bringing this up just to have a little bit of like history talk. The WNBA Instagram page actually had the same idea I did, which was like, how many times have there been multiple rookies? So they actually did the research for me. I'm really thankful for that. But I wanted to go like a little bit deeper on not just rookies, but actually rookies that made the All-Star team as reserves, because that's a little bit different, right? Like the coaches are choosing the reserves. It kind of takes out, for lack of a better, like the popularity contest of it all. Does it make it better or worse? No, it's just different to get selected as a reserve as opposed to a starter. So for Kiki and Sonia, they got picked as reserves. So to take it back, 1999 was the first All-Star game, and we saw 7 rookies making it. This is like a little bit different. I do think there's a tiny asterisk next to this game because the league was so new. So rookie didn't necessarily mean like someone from college. It could have just been somebody coming from the ABL or somebody coming from Europe. So it is a little bit different, but they did have 7. And actually what I noticed there was they had 6 reserves. So technically it's the most all time. But Shamika Holtzclaw, I think that makes her the first rookie ever voted in as an All-Star. So fun little fact. In the 2002 All-Star game, which is my rookie year, it was myself, Stacey Dales, and Tamika Catchings. Stacey was a reserve that year, so that's just 1. 2006 had 4 rookies, Simone Augustus, Sophia Young-Malcolm, Cappie Pondexter, and Candice Dupree, and they were all reserves. And then 2011, which is the last time there was, I think, 3 or more, he had 4 rookies go in: Courtney Vandersloot, Daniel Adams, Liz Cambage, and Maya Moore. That's 3 reserves. Maya got voted in. So I guess technically 1999, but really 2006 takes the award for most reserves. But I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say that my rookie year, 2002, the game was in DC. I was selected as a starter. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that starting team was, for a rookie, like, I don't think you can beat it. Undefeated. I started with Lisa Leslie, Cheryl Swoops, Tina Thompson, and Tisha Penachero. I mean, come on. Unbelievable. You could imagine. My eyes were like, ugh. Anyways. Okay, last but not least, DeWanna Bonner has officially signed in Phoenix and played in her first game out there. Real quick, the saga's over. She's now on a team. She's back in Phoenix. I think it's a great story for her to go back home, the franchise where she started. I also think it fits her basketball-wise. Nate Tibbetts, his style is, kind of like positionless, have a lot of skill players. DB can play the 3. She can play the 4. She's a matchup nightmare at the 4. I think she gives traditional 4s some headaches, especially with the space that Phoenix is going to naturally create with the way they play. She can also take guards into the post, so that gives them that look. But as we've talked about with Phoenix, what makes them good is actually their defense. And I think DB has a versatility there as well. So it'll be interesting to see if she helps with that as well. Yeah, so that's what I'm seeing. And that's it for Sue's View. Let's get to the interview. So Tina, here's your chance.
Ooh.
Officially your chance.
My chance.
To tell the world the truth. Why have you been following me your whole career?
Why have I been following you? I don't know. That's a question for the good man upstairs.
Christ the King. UConn.
Yep.
Eventually Seattle.
Eventually Seattle.
USA basketball.
Yep.
Kind of, sort of Russia, not really, but I'll throw it in there.
I don't know. Just witnessing your greatness. Let's say that. Just witnessing your greatness.
Here we go. All right. Well, you're in your 13th season now.
14th.
Okay. This confuses me.
It's 14.
No, I know, but this confuses me.
Yeah, I know.
How
because of the
it's
year
14
service.
years. Yeah.
Because of the year
so
service.
it's 13 whatever and 14 years.
Yes.
I had the same issue
yes.
on my retirement. They're like, is it? And I didn't play 2 years. Actually, similar to you.
Right.
The bubble season you didn't play.
Yeah.
And then 2023.
Yeah.
Right. So same with me. And they're like, is it 21 seasons, 19 seasons, 21 years? I was like, just call it 20.
Yeah, and it's like the
Just
older you
20.
get, you want to retain those years of service. Actually, they
Hell
matter.
yeah.
When I'm younger, I'm like, 4 or 5. Now I'm like, nah, it's 14.
Yeah. But the question is, are you going to follow me to year 20?
Ooh.
You're knocking.
Nah.
You're not that far.
No, no.
Yeah, no.
I don't think I'm gonna get to 20. 20
right.
is tough.
It is tough.
These guys are running, jumping. Nah, 20 is tough.
20 is tough.
Yeah.
All right, but before we can get to 20 seasons, 14, 13, whatever it is, before we can get to your career, you can't talk to you and not talk about where you're from.
Ooh.
It's such a big part of who you are, how you play. So tell everybody when you say, yo, I'm from New York.
Yeah.
Tell them what you mean by that.
From Queens, New York. I guess just like my confidence, like my swagger, just how competitive I am out there in anything that I do, business outside of the court. Something goes down, just my reactive, just my wittiness. But just on top of it, that's just who New Yorkers are. Never giving up, just gonna keep moving, keep my head up. That's just me all the way around.
I sent you these pictures. You just reminded me. By the way, the producers are gonna kill me because I forgot to like tell them about this. But insert pictures here. I sent you these pictures after, the big, what was it? The scrum, Connecticut Sun versus Indiana Fever.
They were like back
I feel
to
like
back.
it was like the perfect depiction of New York at the start. Cause you were like, no, no, no.
Yeah, I was like, yo.
You had your finger, yeah.
And then what's crazy is everybody's like, yo, you punched it in the back. And I'm like, nah, I was just like.
I know, so that's the
yo,
funny
you
part.
got it.
Clip number one, slide number one, Tina going, yo.
Like,
And
yo,
obviously
chill out, watch yourself. Just watch
This is
yourself.
right after JC and Caitlin got into a little
Just
bit.
like,
You see
just watch
Caitlin push her, and you go,
yourself.
yo.
Yeah,
to
it's just
Caitlin.
watch yourself.
Then Mabry comes in.
Yeah, Marina
knocks
go
Caitlin.
Marina though.
Yeah, knocks her down. And then you see Tina go, it wasn't me. Immediately.
But
I
yeah,
didn't do
I'm
it.
still like talking my shit like, yeah, just
But I
chill
didn't do
out,
that.
chill out.
Yo, I was crying.
I know, everybody was
I was
hitting
crying.
me up.
It was that all angle you needed.
Everybody was like, yo, you took her back to Southside Jamaica, Queens.
Oh my God, it's so funny.
Just being a vet. You got to protect the people. Just being a vet. That's all that was.
No, I know. That was nothing. That was nothing. So I joked about you following him to Christ the King, but why, like, how did you end up at Christ the King? Because I know in New York growing up, you have options. These are like Catholic private schools.
Exactly.
You get to choose.
Yeah, so back then that was like 2002. 8th grade, you take like the co-op entrance exam. And I want to say I had like Malloy first, Archbishop Malloy. And then I had...
Man, you had Malloy first?
Yeah, I had Archbishop Malloy because they just went co-ed. Rosalind was there. The head coach, I think his name is Marty Towie. I went to the basketball camp and they were like, hey, we'd love to get you here. You just have to put them number 1. Okay. Then I want to say Christ the King number 2 and St. Francis Prep last. Okay. And everybody knows if you put St. Francis Prep last, you're not getting in.
No.
So I got on the waiting list for Malloy.
Okay.
And then like my mom's friend from work said, hey, there's this school, Christ the King. We didn't even know about it. There's this school, Christ the King. You should take Tina on a visit. Went there and you see the showcase, see all the names, Meek, you, Lamar Odom. And then we went. I was like, oh, this is cool. So now I'm waiting to see if I'm gonna get in, and then didn't get into Malloy. Just ended up going to King. But I went to the basketball camp as well. I went to Christ King basketball camp.
So were you like only Gazelles AAU at that point? And then did you have to play Liberty Bells?
So that was like the crazy.
Because that had to have been.
It was tough.
It was spicy.
So growing up, played for the New York Gazelles. That was coached by Cecil King Jr. We played all over the tri-state. All the street tournaments that played in every pocket of the city. And then, but yet the furthest we would go was just like nationals, like 15 and under, 14 and under. Okay. So then get to Christ the King. My freshman year, you have to play JV.
I know.
Doing my thing.
Terrible rule.
But it was a lot of fun doing my thing, just doing it all. And then Jill Cook approaches me and she's like, hey, I have my AAU team, Liberty Bells. Would love for you to just come for a tournament. All right, cool. It's a little tournament. Probably went to like St. Peter's College somewhere in New Jersey. And then it was like, hey, like if you want to do this, like you got to be, committed and all that. And so, yeah, I had to make the decision, but it was the best decision that I made. I mean, the friendships I made on New York Gazelle still tight to this day, but just the exposure that I was able to receive. I mean, I remember.
Who coached you? Was it Jill?
Yeah, Jill coached me.
Okay.
I remember going to New Orleans for a tournament and Sylvia Fowles just like dunking it with ease. I'm like, who this? The only big I know is Kia Vaughn. Like, I'm coming from the Bronx. You know what I'm saying? And then seeing Candace Parker enter the gym and everybody just stopping. So yeah.
Yeah, you needed to get like more national exposure, see what's out
like
there.
Competitive, see where I really like am with these guys.
Totally.
Yeah.
What was your recruitment process like for college? Like, we all know where you went, we know the stories, but like, who else? I don't even know this. Who else were you looking at?
Coming out, this is when it comes to following you now, like coming out, that's when like ESPN was really airing like women's college basketball. And like you, Swin, Tamika, Asia, and D were just always on the TV. And so seeing you all, how you guys were playing, I was like, oh, this is where I want to go.
Oh, so
like, I just want to go to UConn.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I remember I got my first letter at like 12. And it was like from Stony Brook. And like my mom framed it. She's Jamaican. She's like, you get scholarship, you get letter. We have to go.
Shout out Stony Brook. Shout out Long Island. Listen.
Yeah, I was like, all right, I'm going to Stony Brook. We don't know anything. Like, my mom is migrated from Jamaica. We don't know nothing. We just hype. So then we moved. So I was born and raised in East Elmhurst, Queens, near Astoria. We moved to Jamaica, Queens. And so we go back to the old house to check mail. And I remember she just stopped and she was like, hey, go check the mail. And then the letter from UConn came. And I was like, I got it. And then, the rest is history. Yeah. I only took one visit. Only went to UConn.
Really? So you didn't visit anywhere else?
Didn't visit anywhere else.
Wow.
Yeah, I just knew that's where I wanted to be. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, when you look back on those 4 years, what comes to mind when you think back on your 4 years?
I think just commitment. Just a commitment to stay with it. My first 2 years at UConn wasn't like the easiest road. I think everyone is aware of that. But just what Coach Auriemma was able to do to bring out of me, what he saw in me and what I didn't see in myself to reach during that time period.
We'll talk about it. When you say the first 2 years didn't go that well? Like, what do you mean?
Just when you're going into UConn, like everyone is a number one player in the country, and just coming in, not really knowing what hard work is, just not really knowing what consistency is, how he wants it like every single time. Like once you show him one way, I need that all the time. So that was just hard, but I think how I was able to get there was just CD and just our relationship and her being able to channel him and just his message. At times I was paying more attention to how he was saying things, how things were being projected versus what the message was. And once I was able to get past that going into my junior year, then I want to say that's when I started like turning the corner. But then it was also seeing Maya, when Maya came in, so we played 3 years together and seeing how hard she worked, her consistency, her being in the gym. That's when I was like, all right, she's doing 2-a-days, I have to do 2-a-days. So if I had class at 8, I was in there at 7 a.m. And then if practice, we only had Gamble. So 1:30 or 4:30, I was there at 12:30. So Maya really set the example for me on, you're not going to get better just in practice. Like you got to put in the work. And that was everything. Yeah. Okay.
So for those that don't know, your freshman year, you guys lose in the Elite Eight.
Yes.
Then your sophomore year, you lose in the Final Four.
Yeah. So my freshman year, we lost to the Elite Eight to LSU. Crazy story. I remember we lost that game. I don't know if that was my freshman or sophomore year. But anyways, I remember we lost that game and Coach Auriemma calls me in his office and it's a newspaper. And this is when like I didn't have the shoulder surgery yet. So I was in a sully on my right shoulder and Sil just blocked my shot and I looked so helpless. And he was like, this is how you want to look? So I
put your nose in it.
Yeah, so I cut it out and I had it in my locker. I had that photo in my locker and it was just motivation. Like, I will never look like this.
Yeah, well, that's kind of where I'm going. Again. It's like, so you fast forward to your junior, senior year, you guys win 2 championships, you go undefeated in both years. So like, what shifted from sophomore to junior year? Is it like a mindset for you guys? You've lost, now you have the experience. Is it a roster addition? Like, what do you think changed for you guys?
I can speak to myself. For myself, we had athletes in action. That's when you're accepting Christ on the court. I went to the camp. Maya and Kyla McLaren, who was my roommate at the time, we came in together, went to the camp. And it was just about making God your motivation for your sport. So once I realized, okay, I'm doing this for the Lord. This is who I want to play for. I accepted Christ there. That's when things changed. I was like, I'm going hard for him. I'm playing for the Lord. That's when my mindset, I was able to ignore how things were coming at me or direction was coming at me on the court. Okay. And I was just like, okay, he just wants me to get to the block. Tia Charles, get your ass on the block. All right, I'm just going to get to the block.
You're not gonna fight it anymore?
Yeah, I was just like,
go.
you got it, that type of thing. But that really was it. And then it was just like Renee Montgomery, point guard that year. She was very like, I'm gonna go out with a national championship. So she really led us. I won't forget, we had like our, first night, Midnight Madness, and she got on the mic and she said, Natty or bust. And we remember, we were all like, yo, we just, hold on.
Whoa.
Yeah. And then another change was Amanda Kimball, our strength coach. We got a new strength coach, and just our approach and conditioning. We leveled up. Our 6 a.m. workouts were intense. The practices were intense. Like, it was so much harder in the practices that in the games, it was just so easy.
Yeah, I'm not surprised Renee did that.
Yeah.
Yeah. In that time, you played with Renee Montgomery. You played with Maya
her for 3
Moore.
years.
You played with Tiffany Hayes, was a freshman.
Tip. So
She
Tiffany. Yeah, Tiffany came in and Caroline Doty came in.
Yeah.
Those two, like, Tip was very special. And it's crazy that her greatness that we're seeing now in the W, we didn't really get to see it because you had me, you had Renee, you had Maya, and just the system
She might have a little bit of
we
handcuffs
played
on
for.
there.
But yeah, but when she had her ISOs and her threes, but yeah, everybody was just dedicated.
Yeah, no, you play with like a lot of good players.
Yeah.
What do you think from college? Like, what do you still take with you? So I always quote, there's one quote Coach Auriemma had when I was in college, basketball is not a game of how to, it's a game of when to. I feel like I really built like how I played the game on that quote.
Yeah.
It resonated, it hit, I took it with me. Is there anything from college that like stays with you?
Yeah, he had a quote for me, if you chase perfection, you will catch greatness. Okay. And he was just saying to me, if you're always in the gym, if you're trying to chase to be perfect with your hook shot, with your drop steps, with your 15-footers, my hook shit. My hook shot is elite. I ain't gonna hold you. CD was really drilling that with me.
I mean, I didn't even get to that. Yeah, CD and the hook shot. For those that don't know, any post player that came through. Yeah. I remember when Jess Moore came through.
Yeah.
Because, Jess Moore redshirted her first year.
I do know that, yeah.
So I'm a junior. They're freshmen. She's a redshirt, though. Just in the gym with CD. Hook'ems.
And honestly, you're spending like an hour and a half just on mechanics on how to hold the ball. Like at times I wasn't even shooting it yet. And that was the hard part, to get through that grind part of how to hold the ball. Then you have the broom up in the air. Then that clamp where the ball's not going to go in.
Yeah, the bubble thing.
Yeah, the bubble.
Oh, nightmare. Remember, anytime that came out, I was like, well, this is just unfair.
I know.
It doesn't come off normal anyway.
Or anytime there wasn't any basketballs in the practice.
Yeah, I never had that.
No, we had that.
You guys must have been fucking around. I never had that.
We had that.
Any idea where you were when the draft lottery happened for what was your draft class? Like, do you have any memory of, who's going to get the number 1 pick?
Oh, I just remember Sacramento had it and then they folded. No? Sacramento. I thought the Monarchs had the first pick and then they folded, and then it went to Minnesota. They did the trade with Lindsay.
You're going to die when I tell you who had it. Now, is there a scenario where I didn't go far enough back in the archives and Sacramento is associated with this? I guess there's a scenario. You're going to die when you find out who had it first.
Who had it first?
We'll get to that in a second. But do you remember when you found out, like, the Connecticut Sun are going to ultimately have this pick?
Because they did the trade. They did the trade with Minnesota to
so
get Lindsay Whalen to go Minnesota, and then,
Okay, all right. I'm going to take you back in these archives. So in November of 2009, the draft lottery happens, and Minnesota does get the number 1 pick, which does turn into a trade. I'm just outlining this for the people. They do trade. Come January, Minnesota trades the number 1 pick, which is you. Renee Montgomery.
Yes, they got Renee.
And then Minnesota gets the number 2 pick. It was just a little swap. Right. And Lindsay Whalen.
Yes.
Great trade. But it goes even further back than that.
New York.
In May. Yes.
It was the girl Sydney?
Yes.
I remember
May
that.
of 2009, so at the end of your junior year, the Minnesota Lynx, the LA Sparks, and the New York Liberty were in a 3-team trade. The Liberty gets Sydney Spencer from LA. LA got Noelle Quinn from Minnesota, and Minnesota got Rafaela, I'm going to mess this name up, Mascriati, and the Liberty's 2010 first round pick, which ended up being number 1. You could have gone to New York.
I know.
Right out of college.
Right out of college.
That's actually insane. As I was like doing my little research, because I remember the trade. I mean, because for me, I'm now in my 2010, I'm in my like 8th year, 9th season, whatever it is. Yeah. I'm in my 8th or 9th year. And I'm like very aware Minnesota's getting the number 1 pick. Like Lindsay Whalen, been in the finals 100 times with Connecticut Sun, getting traded to Minnesota. And now they're going to get Tina Charles. And I was like, damn, poor Tina has to stay in the state of Connecticut. You were a fifth year senior. Sorry.
I do remember that now. Because I remember saying like Sydney Spencer. Like I do remember like
how
having.
the hell did that happen?
Yeah, I do remember having that thought process.
I mean, there's no way they knew they were going to get the number one
Yeah,
pick. But
for sure.
You would hold on. Nowadays, that would never happen.
No,
It's just like
you just hold on to it.
It's actually a story of the growth of the WNBA in a way.
Yeah.
Nobody would ever get up with their first round pick.
You would definitely just hold on to that.
With you coming out of college, 100%.
Yeah,
100%. People are holding on to future picks.
I know.
Thinking people might come out.
I know.
You know?
I know.
Okay, so Connecticut does get it.
Mhm.
Did you know, like, essentially from the jump, you were going to be the number one pick?
Yeah, I felt like my senior year I was separating myself.
Yeah.
Now it'd be different if Maya was in my class.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? But I felt like I was separating myself as far as like my other draft mates, like who was in my class.
Yeah.
My senior year.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
So you get picked by Connecticut.
Mhm.
You get there. I'm joking about being in the state again, but what was your feeling about staying in the state of Connecticut?
I was excited just to be drafted. Like that was just like the dream. I didn't really care. I mean,
Outfit on point. Charlie's influence coming through.
You know what's so crazy? My mom,
Flash the pic.
she ran to my mom like in her and my godmother late in the night. Like I don't know, I think I forgot what I was supposed to wear, and they had to run to Macy's.
That's
and
a
get
Macy's
me-
outfit.
and get me something real quick. Like
Good for them.
then it was in Jersey, so my mom drove to Secaucus.
Secaucus, yeah.
Pulled up and we just put it together. But
Yeah, no, I mean, I would have never thought Macy's.
no, that was
You look like
definitely
you
a
were
Macy's.
styling.
No, that was a Miss Angie fit right
Miss
there.
Angie.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, you get to Connecticut. What's your like initial thoughts? Training camp starts, the season start. Like, what's your thoughts of the league and playing in this league?
I was excited because one, I have Renee. So
yeah,
that
that's right.
was like comfort right there.
What'd she
Familiar.
call you? TT?
Yeah, she called me TT. Hate it.
For those that don't know, Renee Montgomery is like Miss
a
Nickname.
Yes.
Nickname for everybody.
Yes.
You know, we used to call Renee was in Seattle in 2015.
I do remember this.
Jenny Busek was our head coach.
Yep.
You know what she used to call Jenny Busek? Jenny Boom
Boom
Boom.
boom. I remember it.
Jenny Boom Boom. I'm the
remember
only
it.
one that got it because Jenny Boom Boom was like a DJ on Hot 93.7,
Yes.
which is like the, rap and hip hop
I do
station up
remember
in
that.
stores or up in
I
Hartford.
feel like in the game I heard
She's
her
like, oh,
say
what's up?
something.
This is Jenny Boom Boom.
Yeah.
And it was like, we all knew Jenny Boom Boom. She walks into training camp the first day. She's like, what's up, Jenny Boom Boom? Which when Renee does a nickname,
I know, it
That's
sticks.
it.
That's it.
It's
Then
done. It's a wrap.
everyone gets it.
everybody gets in on
Like
it.
Swin still be like, hey TT.
Yep.
Like I'm just
it's done.
please
Yeah,
stop.
K-Bear. I mean, even I know all the nicknames.
Kalena,
Kalena,
K-Bear,
K-Bear.
everybody.
She said Jenny Boom Boom. I almost died. I almost died.
I do
Where is
remember her
Jenny
being
Boom Boom
there.
now?
I do
The
remember
real
her
Jenny
being
Boom
there.
Boom.
I know.
Oh, she was like, the voice of
I
our
do.
time. The voice
I
of
do
our time.
remember that.
Okay, sorry. So you have Renee, Comfort.
Yes. Then Asia Jones was
Yeah, you had a lot of vets.
huge for me. The dispersal draft with Sacramento, we received Kara Lawson
Oh, that's
and
right.
Demaya Walker.
So your first year is Kara Lawson's first year.
Kara Lawson, Demaya Walker.
Okay. With
Yes.
Connecticut, I mean.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you guys, you had a lot of vets.
We did.
Yeah, you had a lot of vets.
We
But your
did.
rookie year goes like pretty well. Your rookie of the year, you're like
Yeah.
setting rebound records, single
Mhm.
season rebound records. How much first of all, what was the biggest adjustment for you?
I would say the physicality was the
Okay.
biggest adjustment. Because, Coach, he prepares his seniors to play like pros. So mentally, I was so confident who I was, what I was about to engage and be able to do in the league.
Mhm.
It was just the physicality. Like I'm going up against women who are like
Yeah,
10
adults.
years in.
Grown.
Nakia Sanford, Chastity Melvin, like Lauren Jackson, like grown women.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Yeah, like it was, I would say the physicality was the toughest part. Like
Okay.
Planette Pearson, like just bullies, like get that one like forearm in your chest, like
Yeah.
just
Yeah, let 'em know
bullies.
you're
So
there.
it was tough.
Do you know that in your time in Connecticut, you were actually robbed of a triple double?
You know what? That was the year. I know and it was a home game.
Yeah.
And I think that was the year Tamika and I were neck to neck, like who's gonna get MVP type of thing.
And that's when
like
they took it
Indiana,
from you?
I want to say Indiana called and was just like, "Yo, it technically wasn't a
No.
triple double." Yes, because I remember
The
literally
Fever
boarding.
called the league office.
I remember boarding a flight
That's
and like our PR person saying like, "Hey, Indiana, just they reviewed everything, like
Yeah.
saw the game."
They took 3 assists away.
Yeah,
You had
yeah.
10. Well, you had 9. They put you back in the game.
Yeah, they put me back in the game
Yeah.
because Coach T was like, all right, you're right there. Go get it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then they went and reviewed it.
And then they went to review
Dropped
it.
you down to 7.
Yes.
I was like, that is
I don't know. I guess my
cold-blooded.
scoreboard was just like, hey, let's just give it
Yeah.
a
I mean, listen, that's
But that was the
literally,
thing.
people always talk about home court advantage being like the fans cheering you on. I'm like, no, it's the
a
stats
score.
guy.
Yeah. It's
the
the stats. It's a
guy.
scoreboard.
That's home court advantage.
But yeah, I remember boarding a flight and them saying like, yeah, you didn't get the triple double. I was like,
Yeah, when
all
I
right.
read that, I was like, that is crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't even know they were reviewed. And now I know.
Yeah.
Someone tattled.
Yeah. So then I thought it was funny. Then like last year, I'm like 35 getting my first one here in Seattle.
Yeah. That's
So
funny.
that was cool.
So you win MVP in year 3.
Mhm.
So it's 2012. What do you
Yeah.
think clicked? Like year 1 and 2, you're off to a great start. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But year 3 is different. You
Yeah.
finish MVP. Like what do you think clicked?
That team, we were just hooping like Kara, Renee, Asia. I think we finished number 1
You did.
as a team.
You guys finished first.
Yeah, like we were supposed to win, then we got upset by Indiana.
I'm gonna ask about that.
But no, that year was just great. Like it was just I would just say like who we were off the court. We were in Connecticut. There wasn't really much to do. Always barbecuing, the
Yeah.
camaraderie, always hanging out
there in
together.
Groton.
Yeah, that's Rotten Groton. That was like
Groton.
one of my favorite teams that I've played on. And
Actually-
Asia was just a staple for why we made it that far.
Yeah, like what do you think it is about? Because my opinion is teams don't have to have that
Mhm.
camaraderie.
Mhm.
Like they don't have to have it to be great teams.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it
like
does
when you
make
have
a
it,
difference.
it's a separator. So like, do you have like a thought around that?
It does make a difference in the sense of like, okay, because I know where your intention lies. I know who you are. So when you're saying things, I know it
Yeah.
doesn't mean X, Y, and Z.
Right.
We're really just trying to
You
accomplish
can take
this.
like a hard message.
Yes,
'cause-
this one goal. And it helped that like Kalena was on that team. I played with her. Renee, we played together. So regardless of what they said
No,
to me.
I heard you guys had fun. You guys
Yeah,
good
we had a
times.
lot of fun. And then
Yeah.
Asia doesn't say much, but when she does, Big Worm.
We called her Chubbs. You know why we called her Chubbs?
Nah.
Did you ever see Happy Gilmore?
Yeah.
And the coach, he has like a fake hand because it got bit off
Oh,
by an
yeah, yeah,
alligator.
yeah.
And so he was called Chubbs. Her hands?
Her hands, yeah. That's what I'm about to say. Her hands.
Her hands?
Nah, Big
Oh my
Worm.
God, Big Worm.
Big Worm.
Big Worm, Big Worm,
Friday.
Big Worm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no,
Nobody
no.
messed with Big Worm. So
Oh,
and then
that's so
Kara was just
Yeah.
ultimate leader. So
Mhm.
yeah.
She probably kept it.
Yeah, she kept
bringing
it afloat.
reeling it back
Yeah,
in.
like, all right, we're
reeling
joking
it
too much.
back
All right,
in.
let's bring this
Yeah,
shit
yeah.
back in.
Oh,
Yeah,
I can totally
that was
see
Kara
that.
all the way.
Well, you brought it up. So that year, you guys finished first, high expectations. You're going into playoffs.
Mhm.
You meet the Indiana Fever in the Eastern Conference
Mhm.
semis.
Mhm.
You get game 1, but you lose the next 2. Like, what do you remember about that series?
I remember Shavonte Zealous making that shot at the buzzer in game 2 at Indiana.
Yep.
Coach T, I think he subbed in like Tan White and Kalena with like seconds to go. Allison Hightower, she misses the free throw. It gets tipped back. They leak out. And then I guess the backcourt wasn't communicating on who had who. Z pulls up to her like elbow shot, cash.
Yeah.
And then game 3, we're like, all right, we're cool. Like we have home court.
Yeah,
Game
home.
3, I want to say like Katie Douglas goes down.
Yeah.
And then the others step up, like
Yeah.
Aaron Phillips and Z, and there's one more playing I'm missing. But then it was like, now we can't figure out where the ball's gonna go. You know, when Katie Douglas was
It was like
in,
playing a new team.
you just know where the ball's going. And then that actually is what broke us, was actually Katie getting hurt.
Do you think back on all your championship wins,
Mhm.
do you think you could diagram a play like that in
Oh.
your wins?
Oh, no. No.
All right, I'm just gonna leave it there. Because it's the same thing. I could tell you like
What
play
happened when you
by
lose.
play, step
Yep.
by step.
Nope.
On a game losing
Yeah.
shot, game
Yep.
winning. I don't know.
Exactly.
Winning.
Even like 2015, the year getting upset again when I was in New York and with Indy, I can go the plays that messed us up,
Yeah.
you know, there, but no. Winning?
That says
No,
something.
not at all.
Yeah. Well, I know sadly, really for all of you, but especially for you, you had a very good relationship, still do, with Coach Tebow,
Yes.
Mike Tebow.
Mhm.
He gets let go and Donovan comes in.
Yeah.
You guys don't make the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's a tough year. Do you want to talk about that year?
Yeah, we can. Yeah,
Okay.
let's talk about it all.
What happened?
Yeah, so Coach T gets let go. And that was tough because super close with him and just how he supported me, not just on the court, but off the court with my endeavors, started my nonprofit there and everything. And then
Hope he's
Ann,
hard.
yes, hope he's hard. Then Ann comes in, and I think it's just different because it's like the same team and we're used to this one voice.
Yeah.
And then another voice comes in with their own direction. And yeah, it was just like the need to buy in. And what is this new? Then Asia takes takes off. She's not there anymore. She was like the glue for our team in our locker room. Kara had her knee injury in and out. So that leadership was just gone, and then it's just us. So
yeah,
it was tough.
It just, yeah. And then ultimately, correct me if I'm wrong, ultimately you requested a trade, asked for a trade.
Yeah, we were losing. And my mindset was like, all right, if I'm gonna lose, I'd rather lose at home. You know, I'm gonna be, that's literally what I thought to myself, because New York wasn't doing that great either.
Yeah, no.
But I remember because we got it, I remember exactly what happened. We got eliminated. We didn't make it to the playoffs. I go back home to New York. New York is playing against Indiana. It could have been round 1.
Okay.
So I go to MSG.
This is like Cappy.
This is Cappy, yeah. And so I remember being there, and she made this shot, and the crowd went crazy. And I was with my mom. We were like courtside. I was like, this is where I'm going to be.
Yeah.
It just made a difference, like playing at Mohegan, being at MSG, then it's home, and the whole thing. I was like, yeah, I got to try to figure this out. Yeah, that was that feel.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. So ultimately you do get traded to the Liberty. You get to go home.
Yep.
In year 1, you guys didn't make the playoffs, but I feel like you're like establishing like team culture. At what point was Bill already there?
Bill was already there.
Okay, so Bill's already there. We all know a Bill Lambier team, how they're going to play. I could probably run the plays right now. I never even played for the man. I know exactly what you guys are running. But then year 2 comes along.
Yeah.
And by the way, when you join in year 1, like Swin Cash is already there.
Well, Swin comes in. I think we traded
like
for Swin.
Through or something, right?
We traded for Swin.
Oh yeah, Swin got caught up in all that like Chicago court her.
Yes.
She didn't want to go.
Yep.
And it was like via Atlanta.
Exactly.
She ends up in New York.
Yep.
So you guys are like starting to establish a little bit in year 1. But then year 2 comes around. Tanisha joins the team.
Yeah, that's a funny story how I was able to get Tanisha.
Oh, you want to talk about that?
Yeah. Okay. So we were playing overseas. We were playing overseas in the Turkish league. I want to say I was playing for Fenerbahce. She was playing for Kayseri.
Okay.
And one of my Turkish teammates did something to her. And T went off. And I was like, I like that.
Yeah.
I need you.
Bill?
And at that time, Bill had like, I think we were going in another direction. Like New York Liberty had let go of their head coach, Bill Lambier. We didn't have a head coach set in stone at the time. So when I'm talking to her, she's like, y'all don't even have a head coach. I'm gonna come over there and y'all ain't got no head coach. And I was just like, nah, we gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
So then I called Dan Padivore. He's the one who I'm speaking to. And then we just keep bugging her. But it was just a funny story, just me seeing her about to rip a girl's head off. And I was like, that's it.
Has T ever told you the story about when she chooses New York? She signed. I'm pretty sure it's like a done deal. And then she runs into Bill at Swin's wedding.
No.
You don't know the story?
No.
Girl. So like I said, she's going to New York. She is a New York Liberty player.
Yeah.
She's down like in the hotel restaurant. Bill's having breakfast. She's having breakfast. She comes back up. She goes, guys, you're never going to fucking believe what just happened. She goes, I walk over to Bill. He's eating breakfast. And I'm like, hey, Bill. Like, because like, I'm your new player. Yeah. And Bill goes like, hi. She's like, Tanisha? He's like, good to meet you. He didn't even know like what was happening. He very quickly was like, and came back around.
Yeah,
but it's like one of the best stories ever. Bill.
That's
I actually respect it.
That's so
Bill. So yeah, the other player that joins you in your second year at the Liberty is Piff.
Yeah, the trade. Yeah,
talk about your friendship with Piff, the history of Piff, what it means in this moment for these 2 New York kids to now be on the Liberty together.
Yeah, it was huge. I mean, Piff and I go back to like 11, 12 years old.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like growing up, certain people would be like, oh, they always had it. Like Piff always had it. Like Piff was always talented. Was always just that person. You talk about street basketball. Like, I mean, we could even get into her 113 points, like just sick. So I remember like she was in Chicago. She was doing her thing. I mean, they made it to the finals. She had a solid team with Syl and Elena. I think Sloot was there.
Oh yeah.
They were doing
all of them.
They were doing their thing. But like going back to Bill, I think Bill realized the changes that had to be made on the team in order for us to be successful in New York and during his tenure. And there was just like little whispers here and there. I remember we were at the NBA All-Star was in New York around 2015, 2016. And I remember KB came up to me. She was just like, yo, we're about to do this and that. I was like, what? I was blown away. I was hyped.
It's a big trade.
Yeah, we
was
were
like
hyped.
Basically straight up Cappy for Piff.
Yep, Cappy for
right?
Piff.
Yeah.
Like, because Cap was able to go back to Chicago, go home.
Yeah, it worked out.
Piff was able to come home. We were hyped. It was a great feel. We just knew, like, we were hyped.
So that year, you finished first.
Yes.
You finished first in the league. Again, a lot of expectations.
Libs on 10. That was a great team. That was another one of my favorite teams.
Yeah, you did. You had a good year. You had a fun group. You get past DC in round 1. And then after winning game 1, You lose the next two against
Indiana.
the Indiana Fever.
It's just Tamika Catchings.
What do you remember about this series?
Tamika Catchings. What I do remember, we played a back-to-back playoff game because the Pope came in town.
Because the Pope came in town?
Yes, that's what I do remember. So we played game, I think we went to 3.
I have now heard it all.
The Pope came in town.
We once had a game almost get moved because of like the ice capades or something. The Pope, I have heard it all.
The Pope
I've
came
literally
in
heard
town. I think the DC series went to 3 games.
Yeah.
And so we had to play, and it's like, yeah, we had to play the next day for game 1 versus Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
So we're pissed because we're like, they got to sit. I remember them at our games.
Yeah. Watching your game?
Yeah, watching our game courtside, watching that game 3 game. And so like, they were just like, hey, you got to play. We didn't even have like advance notice. It was like after the game, yeah, you got to play
crazy.
tomorrow. But we won, surprisingly. And then like game 2, we were up by 20. Like we were up. I didn't play defense. Just put it there. Tamika Catchings just.
I mean, it's Tamika Catchings.
Yeah, she just went off. Yeah.
I want to talk about when you guys got moved to Westchester.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
Like, what do you remember? I feel like this is a big moment to find this out.
So this is when the team goes up for sale.
Yeah.
And I remember like just not even knowing the nuances of it. You know, just being in New York, you develop like business relationships, and I'm like, all right, if I could just get a pool of people to just invest and get the team back, keep the team in New York. I'm calling Terry, just saying like, hey, can I buy the team? Like I have no clue what's going on. By
the way, if equity ever becomes part of a WNBA's like
that's
salary package,
so that's
it's going to be called the Tina Charles rule.
Yes, it was. I was like, why can't we, if you've been with a team for a certain amount of years, we started having all those conversations. And so then we found out like, okay, it was going to stay there. It gets sold to Josiah. And then, but we have to play the games at Westchester.
Yeah, you're in Westchester for 2 seasons.
Yes.
And I want to say it's not sold till the 2nd season.
Okay.
I would have to look that up to be sure.
Yeah, I want to say that's what it was.
Because, and this is my only reason why I'm saying this, in 2018, we played you guys twice in New York. Once was at Westchester, and once we actually played at the Garden. I think we're like the last game that you ever played, that the Liberty ever played at the Garden.
It probably was like a kid's day.
Yeah, it was.
11
It was kids' day. And I was thrilled. I was like, oh, I get to stay in the city and like not have to go to Westchester. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was like 11 a.m.
And I think that was, one of the last games at the Garden. So I want to say
I do remember that.
Joe Clarisai coming in comes the next year, 2019.
I do remember that. But yeah, I mean.
So yeah, you're just like in a gray area.
It was tough playing there, not having the fans, being
I just want to set one thing straight for really everybody. Like playing at MSG was lit.
Oh my gosh.
Like you could go look at the numbers. I guarantee you, if they weren't at the tippy top and in all of their time there, they were very close when it came to like, average attendance. The vibe in there was crazy. Celebro was celebroing. Like it was always a vibe. I think now, and you have to give props to the size and what they're doing in Brooklyn, and we'll get to that in a second. People kind of assume like, oh, it must have been trash. It must have been. Because they got moved to Westchester. I mean, that's not why they got moved. That's not why you guys got moved to Westchester.
Exactly, no.
So yeah, so like, you guys just got caught in the middle of this like fire sale that forced the move to Westchester. But it wasn't because the Liberty at the Garden wasn't a thing. No. Like that was a thing.
But we should bring you up, and you almost coming to New York. You probably could have been the savior to like keep us at the Garden.
With Stewie, we got the #1 pick with Stewie.
Yeah, I know. I mean, duh. It was close. It was close.
I told that to Stewie the other day. I was like, you do know.
I know.
I was like literally watching that draft lottery, like, what's my future? I'm staying.
Yeah, could you? Oh, man.
I can't.
I know.
It would have been crazy. It would have been crazy. But actually, speaking of Brooklyn and the Liberty now, more so as a former Liberty player, but also just like as a New Yorker. Like I never played for the Liberty, but I went to games as a little kid. Yeah. It was the WNBA team in New York. It was my team in a sense. Do you have any sense of pride? Like when you think of how well they're doing, are you like, yeah?
Oh yeah, like I had that feeling like when they won, I felt like I won.
Yeah.
Like that typical New Yorker, like, nah, I won. Like we did this. Now
you sounded like a Knicks fan for real.
Exactly. That's how I felt.
Out in the concourse. Bing bong.
I was hyped. Like I was hyped when they won. Just because of like, an ode to like Spoon, an ode to like Becky Hammond, like those guys, me coming through, Piff, Swin, Tanisha.
Yeah, you all left your mark.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. When New York wins, it's just better for like any league that a New York team
For sure.
is in.
For sure.
But it was great to just watch that they finally got it. But I was excited. I was like, nah, I won too. Where my ring at?
You know, they like sell them.
True New
When
Yorker.
you don't know this, you don't go to games, but when the rings first came out for the Liberty, they had like a whole like case set up where you could like check them out. And I think you can like buy a version of it.
Oh.
So, you know,
okay.
save up those coins. So sadly, your time as like a member of the team does come to an end after 2019. Then it's the bubble season. So now we're going to like fast forward a little bit. You sign with Phoenix after DC. It's 2022. And then the trade happens to Seattle.
Yeah.
Phoenix, I mean, just real quick, that was you guys, just so people understand, like it's Diana. It's you signing free agency. I forget the trade, but Diamond DeShields is on the team.
Yep, Diamond.
Who am I missing besides BG? I'm picturing 5, or is it just you 4?
It's just us 4.
Okay, so you're like the big 4.
Yeah.
And so BG. And then obviously we all know what happened to BG. So just in Phoenix, I could only imagine how mentally taxing and how difficult it was to know your teammate is in a prison in Russia.
Yeah, no, that was tough. I mean, even when we found out in February, I remember waking up from a text and just seeing like a news report. And then getting in contact with D and just hearing like, hey, everyone's trying to do all that they can.
Skylar.
Not knowing how.
Skylar's the 5th.
Yeah, Skylar. Oh, I thought you said Skylar.
No, I didn't say Skylar.
Yeah, Skylar.
Skylar's the 5th.
Of course, Skylar.
I can like see the picture.
That photo that they
they
posted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone's doing what they can, but not knowing how far along it actually has been. No, it was very tough. It was very hard. And I think like hearing about it, obviously played with her on the Olympic scene and getting to know her and everything. But for those guys who have played with her longer, just the thought of it, but then not having her presence there and what was missing, it was immensely tough.
Yeah.
It's just on your mind every day, reminded every day, just being
you guys
in Phoenix,
talk about it a lot.
seeing the mural, seeing, her locker's still there, saying B. Griner, all of it.
Yeah. So it didn't work out exactly how you had planned, and then you get traded mid-season. You come to the Storm. I know it was like a challenging time.
Oh, that year.
Yeah, I know it was really challenging for you.
Yeah.
What about it?
It was emotionally challenging. Just even making the decision to go, just like processing all the, okay, you leave. Oh man, how's it gonna look? And BG's not there.
Yeah.
Are you not believing? And I think just for that team, and I've said this to myself all the time, especially in 2023 when I didn't play, and just reflecting like, every day you're meeting somebody where they're at. Every day, personally, work-wise. And I think those teams that win championships, you're meeting that person where they are. And I think we just weren't consistently meeting one another where we were at, giving what each other need, like the grace, the patience. And for me, I was just like, I want to win a championship. I want to compete. That is what, overrided everything. And then for it to be the opportunity to play with you, someone I trust and knew and followed all the way around, I was like, all right, I'm just going to take it. But the backlash was hard. I remember when I texted you and I was like, hey, let me know about the plays. And you're like, hey, just get your mental right.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was hard. It was hard. It was tough.
I remember when we first went back to Phoenix.
Yeah.
That was really tough for you.
Yeah. Emotionally crying before the game, after halftime. And then just even like, leaving D, someone I looked up to for a long time, but then also having her support at the same time, just knowing what was brewing there.
Yeah, I remember you told me it was like she kind of had that final, sometimes in big decisions, you just need that one person who you trust to say not the right thing, but to like say the thing at the moment. And I remember you telling me like she finally was like, almost like gave her blessing.
Yeah, we were.
It was just like a sweet moment of like, I know you need to do
we played in Minnesota, then we traveled to Dallas and we were on the bus. We just got off the flight and I went to the back of the bus where she was sitting and I was just telling her where I was thinking because it literally happened like hours before you couldn't do it. Yeah. Like I did it like the deadline, like the time and all that. And we had the conversation, hugged it out and but it was hard.
Yeah,
it was hard.
It was really hard. I think we could have won that year. I really believe that. It was just we needed like a little more time.
Yeah.
And we ran up against, a good Vegas team.
Oh, a good Vegas team.
Great Vegas team. And then I'm like,
Asia.
I tell Chelsea all this
Chelsea.
time. I'm like, you shot 65%. Could you not just shot like 60?
Yeah.
She shoots 60 and we win.
Yeah.
She was it's one of the best playoff runs, like individual performance wise that we've ever seen.
Yeah.
And that's what
I still think about those free throws.
Yeah. I still think about a lot from that game. Not the free throws, to be honest. Truthfully, I thought you got put in a really bad spot.
Yeah, no, that was tough. I mean,
you hadn't played. I don't think
I played I was playing well.
You were playing really well.
Well.
You were like,
I finally got it.
Who's this?
I think I felt like I finally got what you all needed, in a sense of who I needed to be, where I needed to be.
All of it.
I was learning the passes, where players were going to be once I caught it.
You were catching it in the pocket
film.
and like playmaking.
Yeah, I got back to like my shit.
Yeah.
It felt like I was back in New York, honestly, in 2015 when Bill trusted me in that pick and pop and just, so then I'm there and
you were scoring, you were facilitating.
Yeah.
It was all of it.
Yeah. And then I actually think I'm just getting a breather.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going to be that long, but the group that was out there, guys was vibing.
No, yeah, we had control.
Yeah. And you know what? It was I remember when Ebony, she came up to me and she was just like, hey, we're about to be in a free throw situation. We're going to put you in. And it was you drew up the play. And I was like, I should be over here.
I remember this.
I remember seeing the play
yesterday.
and Stewie should be here to catch it. And I should just be the decoy where they had Stewie.
Yeah.
It was on the tip of my tongue to say it. And it was just that confidence that came in. Be like, nah, Tina, you got this.
Yeah. No, of course.
Yeah.
That's why there's no fault in, I don't it's not about fault.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously you look back, hindsight's 2020, but this is one of those rare moments when I can actually remember what I was thinking. And I remember I was inbounding the ball.
Yeah, you were.
And I remember we had back-to-back possessions that we need to inbound where they were going to foul. First one, we run like a regular old play. Jewel gets it, boom, we're good.
Yeah.
And then in the huddle, going into the second, like possession like this, after they go down, hit a three, now we come back. We changed the play slightly. And I remember thinking like, I don't think Jewel's going to get open.
Yeah, because Jewel was like the person that we wanted to shoot the free throws.
Jewel was like 99.9% in those moments.
Yes.
And I just remember thinking that. And for whatever reason, you couldn't hold my tongue that year. For whatever reason in that moment.
Oh, I know.
For whatever reason in that moment, I didn't say anything. And I was thinking it. And that's one of my big regrets.
And that's how I feel when I think about that year and just not saying like, hey, no. Put Stewie here. Let Stewie be the one to catch it. At least it's Stewie, one of them, not someone who's like, was sitting
tough.
there. And then that was the big thing. It was like, whoever came out of that series knew they were going to win the championship. That was no disrespect to the other side.
Yeah.
But
No, I think we all were thinking that.
Yeah.
That was tough. Let's get into some OG talk.
Yeah.
I'm the double O.
Yeah, you're the
double
I don't know,
OG.
you might be a triple.
What? You can't. What do you mean?
You like
I'm a triple now? What is?
So who's the triple? Oh, all right. So you're saying
like
triple
Lisa
is
Leslie
like, okay. All right.
I'm not in the Lisa Leslie, like Rebecca Lobo show. I didn't sign the first contract. Sheesh. I'm just a double.
All right, you a double.
Thank you. God.
I'm an OG.
Okay. So you've played with, because now we're getting into like some mindset conversations, what you're seeing now in the league.
Yeah.
You've played with some of the greats, if not the absolute greats.
Yeah.
When you think about the Dianas and the Maya, you've played with like literally all of them. What traits do they have in common? Like, what do you see from the greats that make them great?
I would say like there's a consistency in their approach. Just the will to win and doing whatever it takes. Being in a huddle with Diana, then that same summer being in a huddle with you, just the not care of how you're going to respond to this, but I need you to get this done, and just players knowing the intention behind it. I think that was the special part, that the both of you just knew how to take and bring players where you needed them to go. Even in that short span where I was with you, I trust you in the sense of, because knowing you off the court and all that and our connection, but just knowing like, all right, this may be unfamiliar and uncomfortable, but it's still going to be the best position for me. I think I could say that.
Okay. What do you think the line is between, like from a leadership standpoint for some of these players, or just in general, your thoughts, like the line between leading by example and vocally? So like how do you manage that?
I think right now with this group, I'm more leading by example.
Okay.
Because I'm still trying to find my way of my voice of what is going to retain them and bring them in because of the type of voice that they're used to that isn't my voice. And so like, I have to learn like, okay, maybe my approach is the arm around the shoulder and saying like, hey, you know, like going that route versus like, I need you to get your ass here because that's how I'm used to being spoken to. And that's what I know, you know, and it's kind of hard when it's like in the middle of a game and you're just trying to get things done. But I think now, like being a month or so in, like I think the players on my team are starting to know my intentions and where I'm at, and just trying to build on the good habits that we are building, especially when you're on a team like this.
Let me get into post play a little bit. Ooh. So I actually saw Sil recently.
Big Sil.
We were at the Hall of Fame together. Man. And she got asked a question on one of the panels we were on, and she kind of was like, yeah, I just feel like, I'm obviously ad-libbing a little bit here, but paraphrasing. She's like, I feel like the center position is kind of like dying. Like it's going away. Oh yeah. And what we're seeing, it's kind of being replaced by these like super versatile, like the Stewies, Asias, Fee, like super versatile. So how have you seen that evolution or that change in like the skill set of a post player?
Yeah, I mean, you have to be able to hit the three, I feel. You have to be able to be a threat out there. Coming into the league, for me, what I did was just enough. Like being able to just do a drop step, just doing a hook shot, like you were good. But I want to say that's what makes me want to still be around, is because I still have something to chase. You know, there's still a competitive, there's still a competitive edge in a sense. Like you see what Fee's doing, Asia, Stewie, as you said, like the back to the basket post players is not really there.
It's
and I take a lot of pride and honor when I say I'm a back to the basket post player. Like I could be,
that's how Sil was talking about
like I'm gonna be dancing on your ass. Like I take pride in that. And not just like a dribble pound, but just being able to do counter moves and all of that. It's very rare to see. I'm trying to think of a post player who's just as back to the basket and face up. Because I can't even really say that Asia is a back to the bat.
Not solely.
She's like a freaking unicorn. Like I can't even.
No, she does it, but not.
Yeah, but not all the time.
Thing. Yeah.
You know, you have your Aaliyah Boston.
Yeah, that's more. Yeah, that's
more
probably
traditional.
The one. Yeah.
Yeah, like more traditional. Obviously, you have.
She's actually a great playmaker in those little drop passes
playing with Caitlin.
Yeah.
I want to say like BG, she'll get in there, but for obvious reasons. Even Brianna Jones.
But even them, especially in Atlanta, they're shooting
threes. That system that Smesco has them in. I mean, it looks good for them. But yeah, it's very rare to find back to the basket versus what it was when I came in.
So which young bigs do you see right now in the league that you think have the chance to like make a jump? Like they have the skill set to like make a jump so they can enter into all-star settings. Like I know you like Kiki Area Finn, like there's some young
Kiki.
posts.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Kiki. Kiki is like the next to me, like back to the basket post. I mean, even seeing what Shakira Austin has been able to do this like
that's another
past week. And I know it has everything to do with Barbara Turner because she's really a great skill coach being there with them. But yeah, Kiki is someone that I would identify with where I'm just like, oh, wow. Like, yeah, she has it. And when she starts stepping out, making a three, for sure.
So you talked about your rookie year, like one of the things, physicality of the league. That was 2010. You know, it's 2025 now. I'm really curious your thoughts just on this whole conversation about the physicality of the league. And like, I don't know, coming in 2010, coming in now, do you think it's that much different? Has it changed?
I think it's softer.
It's softer now.
Yeah.
LOL.
I think it's softer.
Everybody thinks it's like a fucking fight out there every night. I
know. No, the only thing that is like, I mean, keeping me from is just like age, you're not as athletic, the motor and all of that. But I think it's softer and the bigs aren't as big. Like,
so for you especially, it's less pounding probably.
Yeah, like I was going up against Erica De Sosa, Sancho Little, freaking even Camille Little, like even your power
You're
forwards were
undersized, yeah.
powerful.
Right. Yeah.
Like there was some
It's not just a name.
power. Yeah, no, like they were like real bigs. I'm trying to like Lauren, Sil.
Yeah.
Shoot, I don't know why I'm drawing a blank right now, but they were like
You've been in the league too long.
big.
It gets harder, trust
There
me.
were big post players that Kia Vaughn, that you had to go up, Carolyn Swords, that you had to go up against night in and night out.
How much of a role do you think not going overseas for a lot of these players is going to play? Like, how do you think it's going to impact them? And then honestly, can you talk about what you learned by going overseas?
Oh yeah, what I learned,
Because I feel like physicality is a part of playing over there.
yeah,
You
no,
get real used to it.
the physicality. But then what's hard is coming back over in the way they referee the games overseas versus in the W. But I would say the physicality. I would say gaining your confidence.
Yep.
Being
gotta be
able
the man.
being able to add to your bag and work on different moves. And then just gaining a new like basketball IQ. Like every country just plays a different style. I think that was like the sweet part about playing overseas, adapting.
Yeah.
Um,
You take a little bit of something from every stop.
yeah, for sure.
Wait, what were your favorites? What were your favorite stops?
My favorite stops. I would say my first year in Nadezhda Orenburg in Russia, I was able to play with Becky Hammond. So playing with her was pretty sweet, just to see her like take over huddles and and just hear her early conversations of saying like, oh no, I want to coach, and just seeing where she's at now. I would say Fenerbahce was cool. I was able to play with Angel.
Yeah, 2 different times.
Yeah. So last year and then 2014. What else did I play?
China
Oh,
like?
Dynamo Moscow, because I was able to play with Chrissy Tolliver and Lindsay Whalen.
Yeah.
So playing with Wheezy and Christy, that was just
Oh my God.
the amount of beer.
You know what story? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we're not gonna talk about this on here, but that fucking drug test story.
Oh yeah.
That is an all timer.
I just told it to someone the other day.
That is an all timer.
Yeah,
It's
it was
too bad we can't talk
2016.
about
It was
it.
Rio.
All
It would have
timer.
been a different story.
What was China like? Well, actually, what was crazier, Russia or China?
Russia was crazier.
Oh, Russia was crazier.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
China's
China,
chill?
yeah, China's chill. I really enjoyed China. Like they set you up. You stay in a really nice like 5-star hotel. As long as your contract is suited and booted, like you're good. Like 1 practice a day, only for 2 hours, day off after
You need
games.
to make a template.
Yeah, exactly. Send it out. That's exactly how my contracts were. So I was good. I can't
believe you didn't talk about the most important lesson. Although maybe we'll get this. This is like an overseas/USA basketball lesson.
Okay.
What is the one lesson we all know?
Oh shoot, I'm drawing a blank.
Take them to the logo.
Take them to the logo and cross them over.
up.
Yeah, that logo. The logo that's right there in that free throw line.
The logo is deadly.
Man,
That's taken out more than I can count.
We were literally in Istanbul. It was the World Cup 2014. I forget who we were playing, but you took them to the logo and you crossed them over. Then I'm
like,
trailing
Tina,
back
it's a
and you
life
looked
hack.
at me. You were like, take them to the logo, cross them over.
The logos overseas, although they've changed them. It's
Yeah,
now
they
like,
have.
yeah, because we complained.
Yes.
So it's after like 20 years of this shit, they
Yes.
finally, it's like a painted logo, but they would just take the logos and there was a big ass sticker.
big
and
ass
just,
circle
boop,
sticker and just
stick
put
them
it
on the court.
And then
They
it
would be at
just
half
slippery.
court. They would be at the, like in the free throw line area. And you would take,
It was like a circle,
you'd be like,
circle.
fine, you're fine, you're fine. You get to that logo, whoop,
Nope.
slip. That's it. You're done. Slipping
Nope.
all over the place.
Nope.
So that was like a little life hack.
would always
Get them to the
be-
logo, put them on the skates.
I would always be that one big in transition and say your guard isn't picking up the ball.
Oh, the back pedal?
And I was like, nah, I ain't got it. Yep,
Yeah.
that was me. Yep, I did not
I'm
get the
not
ball.
even
Nah,
trying.
I have never got crossed or fell in my career, and I take
Yeah.
pride in that. It's not
Good job.
happening.
Good job. But USA basketball. Now that we've entered that, what do you remember about your experiences? 3-time gold medalist.
Man,
We
USA.
had some good times.
You know, we had some great times.
Some great
I mean, my
times.
first training camp was in Russia and in Ekaterinburg, and it was just Maya and I as a collegiate like players, and then just that training camp pool.
Yeah.
Just like the people. First off, when I got there, I was just like, oh, I'm not making an Olympic team. When I'm seeing all the post players, I'm like, yeah, nah, I'm not making a team. But cool, it got me out of
HDFS 101. What is it called?
it got me out of my preseason 6 a.m.s.
Okay, yeah.
That was something that I was hype about more than anything.
Yeah.
But I just remember seeing all you guys, and then that was my senior year. So it was also like, okay, what can I take from anybody that I'm around as far as preparing to what I'm about to go into for my pro career.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about London and playing against Cambage?
Oh man, that game.
That game was crazy.
No,
people don't realize.
Lindsay and I talk about it all the time.
That game was great. Wade played great that game.
We always say it was like the best 5 minutes of our lives because wait, first off, we were
set the stage a little bit.
All right, so this is semifinal to go to the gold medal game. I mean, Lauren Jackson's doing anything. Penny Taylor wasn't playing.
She was hurt.
She was hurt?
But it's basically the first Olympics where Lauren Jackson, all-time great, obviously.
Yeah.
Goes without saying. And Liz are playing. It's like the first time they're playing together in an Olympics.
Okay.
Liz is like 19, 20. I don't even know. She's a baby.
She is.
But
she was hooping.
She had like 2021 in the first half.
She was
in
hooping.
The first half.
She was.
They were up. We were losing.
She was hooping. We were down. I remember Carol Callan coming in.
Carol.
I remember she coming in like, y'all need to get this together.
Yo, Carol never talks at halftime.
Ever. She's got her little clipboard, just taking her little notes. I don't know what she got going on. But then she just comes in at halftime and I'm just like, oh, this is like, I think that's when it really hit me.
Yeah.
Like,
we can fucking lose.
Yeah.
This is fucking real. It's your first Olympics.
My first Olympics.
So this is like
Maya's first Olympics.
This is what this is.
Yeah.
Because that is what it is.
Exactly.
I always say this. I know. We smash people. I know. I'm not going to gaslight you and say we don't smash people.
No.
90% of the time. But that 10%, especially in the knockout rounds, especially at big tournaments,
No,
that's not, these are like games.
It was tough. So then I remember you was talking.
I was talking.
You got very serious.
I was very serious.
I was like, all right.
I was like, we got to guard horns.
Yep. Dee was doing her thing, talking. But then it's like our second unit that came in.
Yep.
That's what Weezy and I always speak about, like the best 5 minutes of our like professional career. Like I think it was myself, Weezy, had to be Simone, maybe.
Angel was like, just throw her in there, let her go crazy. She didn't know any of the plays.
Just give her the ball.
She didn't know what she was doing.
Would just be like, Angel, you're going to be here? Straight line.
Yeah. Just go.
That was the play. Like, we're all looking at Telly.
One woman press. She just pick up full court, make their lives miserable. Angel was one of the best USA basketball players of all time.
Oh my gosh.
Just throw her in.
Do you remember her 360 layup? I don't know if that was 2012 or 2016.
Well, first of all, she's done that multiple times.
She clicked her feet in the air.
There's no place like home. She no place like homed it. Oh my God.
She clicked her
Angel
feet in
was
the air.
hilarious.
But that group, when we went in, and then Asia Jones, she's her defense, she just really slowed them down. She just knew how to play Lauren.
You just made me think of something. Okay, so this is like most of my USA basketball experience. I didn't start in Athens, but like once 2006 World Cup comes around, I'm a starter for the rest of my like USA basketball career.
Right.
And what an honor to be a starter.
Of course.
Who doesn't want that? I would never trade it. But part of being a starter is because what makes USA basketball great? The depth.
The depth, yeah.
Like anybody could be a starter.
Yeah.
So what would ultimately happen is the second group would always be the change-making group.
Yes.
And I'm bringing this up only for London and Rio.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't start in London. No, you start.
I didn't start in London, but then like probably after the first 2 or 3 games.
Halfway through.
Yeah. Do you remember I forgot my jersey like 3 times?
And the locker room was far. We're in London, first Olympics ever. Hey, Tina.
I was so nervous.
Get in there.
I took off my jersey.
Took off the t-shirt, no jersey. So Coach Horiyama, and this is why I'm bringing this up, because he's trying to use it as motivation, but he'd be like, thank God for the second group. Saving your guys' ass. I'm like, what do you mean? We just tired them out. Meanwhile, it's like literally Lindsay Willen, Simone, Angel, you at a different point.
Yeah.
Like, who am I forgetting? Forget Rio. It's like Elena Deladon, Tamika catching, Stewie coming off the bench. I was like, are you fucking serious?
I know.
He used to do that just to piss us off.
I know.
But in fairness to the whole thing, it is true. The second group, quote unquote, when they would come in, it would always change the game. Always. It was like the pace picked up, the tempo picked up, the pressing, all of it. And in that particular game, in the second half, you guys got us the lead.
Yeah, we turned up.
Mm-hmm.
We turned up. I just remember being at the scores table with Weezy, and she came up. She was like, "We're not going to lose this effing game." I didn't know what she was on, but you know when she gets that.
Oh, I love a way one-liner.
She gets that.
She just comes in. Slide it
Yes,
in. Exits.
that was it.
Yeah.
That was it. I was like, all right, whatever you need. I'm just gonna rebound and run.
Let me know. Just gonna rebound and run.
Yeah.
So something else that I've said about being a player for USA Basketball, it's like some of the most uncomfortable basketball I've ever played.
So uncomfortable. I think only like 2 or 3 people on your team is able to be comfortable and come in and be who they naturally are.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you really are like sacrificing the me for the we. Like who we are on our WNBA teams. Like my role was just to rebound, set screens, run the floor hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was my role. And I remember saying to Coach Rama, so like,
When do
there's
I
like
shoot?
no scoring. My ass, like there's no shooting. Yeah, but yeah, like you're just very uncomfortable adapting to a new role, adapting to like your minutes not being there. You might get a DNP.
Mm-hmm.
You may not match up well depending on, you know, who the other country that it is that we're playing. Because some of them are just so versatile. Like even 2020 playing against Japan.
Yeah.
You know? Like only certain bigs can play against like
That's one of the hardest teams I've ever played against. I'm
Yeah.
not even joking. Which Olympic team do you think is the best one you played on?
Probably, I don't know, 2016.
I think 2016's one.
Would you say, what
is
about
like-
for you?
Yeah, 2016.
2016.
I know people are going to say the 1996 team is like one of the best ever, and obviously they are. And
Yeah,
like,
but my
thank God for
experience-
them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, my experience is 2016.
Yeah, 2016.
But I'm saying I think 2016 is in the conversation of best ever.
Has to be.
It's like 2016 for me. I would throw 2008 in there
yeah.
because we've got like Syl and Candace are babies. They're like rookies, and Lisa Leslie. It's like you have
Right.
all the eras in between. Cappy's on that team.
Yeah.
And then 96. Those would be like the ones I would say. And I know people are going to have opinions about that, but
Nah, 2016, I mean, I think I was starting in 2016, but just
Yeah.
the bench alone.
BG, first Olympics.
Yeah.
Oh God, the bench.
The bench alone. It was like Wheezy. It was
The Minnesota Lynx. Minus Maya, basically the Minnesota Lynx coming in. And then Elena Deladon, Stewie.
That was Stewie's first Olympics.
Yep. Tamika Catchings.
Yeah.
Angel.
Yes.
That's his, and then to name it, Simone, Lindsay,
Yeah.
Simone and Lindsay, and Syl.
So, yeah, that team was crazy. It was a lot of fun too.
A lot of talent, and we're all give or take in our primes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's my vote.
It was a lot of fun.
Okay. I've come to the point where I'm curious.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on how much longer you want to play? Have you started thinking about retirement? And by the way, I don't say that in like a real way necessarily. I know for me, speaking of 2016, that was the first time where I was like, retirement. I didn't retire till 2022.
Right.
But it's just like the thought of it. It doesn't mean you're close to it. So I'm just curious like where you're at.
Yeah, no, I mean, I thought I was done in 2023 when I didn't play.
Yeah.
Then came back, found the joy, love for the game again. But here, probably think about it every day.
Dead. Yeah, it's hard. Losing's hard.
Yeah,
Losing's
every
hard.
day.
It
And
makes you question your whole existence.
It's that compounded with like, you know, going in, playing at this age, playing in the 30-minute range.
Yeah, you
and just
are
how you
stuck in
feel
minutes.
physically. And then it's more games. Like I feel like when I came in 2010, it was like, 31, 32-ish games. I think the games, like we started the season in June. But now you have 44 games and just how quickly
Are
that
you
they
feeling the
come.
impact of that?
Yeah, I am. I
Okay.
am definitely feeling the impact.
Do you think like everybody is?
I
You think
want
that's like
to
a thing?
You know, I'm
Because it is, we haven't like extended the season much. And that is like Satu has talked about it. It's been a
Right.
conversation point.
right. But it is a lot of games like within a week, you know, 3-4 games. Just the other day, funny joke. Just the other day, we had a back-to-back. And our back-to-back was against Phoenix. And so going into it, I'm like, all right, let me see where I'm at. Me and AT start jawing at each other. And I'm like, oh, I'm about to go at her. It's like even Bria. So Bria know me because, you know, we
Yeah.
played together in New York. So we ran a play. She was like, oh, I just knew you was about to take it. Everybody just cleared out. Because once I start jawing, I'm like, I'm coming at
Is
your
Bria
neck.
still?
Yeah. She's like, ooh, ooh.
She's still doing
ooh.
it?
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
still oohing out there.
Okay.
So I went at her and she just like checked me. And I was like, that's all the energy I had for this game. And I couldn't play. I was
Yeah,
like,
you're
yeah,
cooked.
me back-to-backs.
Not a thing.
Yeah. I didn't
So
even
it's catching up.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. But no, I definitely think about it. I think obviously you're so close. Anyone around my age, there's only a few of us. where the new CBA is coming in.
Yeah.
And it's like not even about, being able to enter into that new money. It's just how you're able to bring the league along to where it is. And just to be able to say like, hey, I played in the CBA. That's more so what it is for me. It's not the financial gain of what it could be. It's like, I got to play in it. I got to see it through. I got to see the changes. Cause I remember where I was like packing my sneakers, like just little nuances of where the league was and what we have now. That's what's important for me. It's like to be able to say like, I played in the new CBA.
Yeah, no, I think that's, I totally get that. To have a little motivator like that.
Yeah.
I am sad that I didn't get to charter for that reason. It has nothing to do with the charter planes. Matter of fact, I'm like, I got my miles.
No, that's something that
I'm a million miler on Delta, shout out. I got my miles.
I missed the miles.
Would I trade the miles for charter flights? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's just exactly what I couldn't say it any better. Yeah. It's like you helped usher in this thing, this change.
A part of the conversation.
And you want to like experience it.
Yeah.
So it totally makes sense to me that would be a motivator for you at this stage.
It's just the experience. And then just trying to see how much further I can go. But I mean, I still love the game. Still competitive. If I didn't think that I could compete at this level, like I'm never gonna go out there looking like trash. I think anybody that knows me is like
nobody wants to do that.
Yeah, nobody wants to do that.
That's what Dee would always say too.
Yeah.
Like, someone tell me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So respectfully to these guys and what they're putting into it, like if I wasn't able to do the same thing, and I'm still in tune with the process. I'm still in tune with the process of what my body needs, getting up early, having to be in the gym and fine tune little things. But yeah, I mean, Asia is probably the only player I played against where I'm like, all right, I probably should retire.
Yeah. 5,000 points, fastest.
Yeah, man, it was on me too. And it's funny because it was on my mind. I was like, me being the OG, like I should foul her to make her earn it. Like in my mind, but I was just so tired. I was just like, okay.
Yeah, you can have it. You're going to get it eventually. Just get it now.
Yeah, I think she was like 7 points away. Yeah. But yeah.
How much does like getting you're one of, I would say, the most successful, most decorated, all the accolades that hasn't gotten to the finals. How much of that is a motivator right now in your career? It's
actually not. Like, for me, I feel like I did everything I could, right? Okay. Of course, I have the conversations in my mind, like, man, if I wasn't playing for New York in those 2 years in Westchester, like my prime years, if I wasn't so dedicated to the organization and the love for the city, probably could have went somewhere else because I had the window too. But for me, I'm just counting my wins in like a different column, like just trying to help these guys be better, help them have a fruitful career like I did, teach them how to be pro. That's really what the wins are. Like, I know we're not seeing the wins. We're like, 2 and whatever right now. But just seeing like Sanaya come in the gym differently. Yeah. Seeing Olivia Nelson do a different post move. Like those are like it's the legacy. Wins for me. Exactly.
Yeah,
those are the wins for me. Leaving a mark. Exactly. Yeah. That's how I have to see it. And that's what allows me to keep around, because if I were to hang my head on, I am the one player that it'd have been hard. It'd have been hard to be around the game, but I got past that.
I think you said it, you guys are like 2 and whatever. So I know it's a tough season, but if you can fast forward to the end, when you look back, what would make this season a success for you, for the Connecticut Sun? What would that look like? What does success look like? Yeah, success for the Connecticut Sun would just be growth and turnover and buy-in, and just, it's not like the fact that we're losing, it's like how, let's do it. If it's like you're differently. Building culture. Exactly. I think that would be the main thing. Okay. And then especially with those young players, just learning differently, like being able to be open to constructive criticism, and how it's going to come across. Yeah. Because it's going to come across differently, because I would always try to remind them, this isn't going to be your only stop in your career. You're not going to be, some are very fortunate to be in the same place for a long time. Yeah. And even in the climate that we are in with Connecticut Sun and the unknown of where we're going to be and what ownership is going to look like, you have to be able to pivot, when you hear something, and translate it into, the game. So I think I would say that would be the biggest thing. It's just turnover, being able to pivot, being able to just build culture and what we want this organization or the new organization to look like in the locker room, and just the buy-in. And then for you, what are we thinking? Like, are we going back overseas? Is it
Oh,
another...
I'm done going overseas.
Okay, we're done with that. So
done going overseas.
We're calling Tim?
Yeah, we're calling Tim. I might go back in the gym.
Okay.
I might see.
We'll see about 2026.
No, hopefully, God willing, I'm around 2026.
Well, whether you play or not in 2026, sounds like you are. Whether you play or not, you have so much else going on off the court. I know Hopi's Heart is something really important to you. You're about to hit a milestone?
Yeah, so Hopi's Heart Foundation, we raise awareness of sudden cardiac arrest through placement of AEDs. So started it in April 2013. It's in memory of my late aunt, Maureen Vaz. So to date, we've had probably placed 486 automated external defibrillators, which is the device that you see on walls in different institutions with electric shock to bring you back. And so we're very close to reaching the 500 milestone. And for me, it means everything because this is a preventable injury. To be able to save lives. We've saved one knowing life.
For those that don't know, you need to like search that up immediately.
Yeah.
Tina Charles, Hopi Heart, life saved.
Yeah,
because it's an unbelievable story.
Yeah, we saved one knowing life, a recipient from the Marbridge Foundation, which housed special needs adults in preparation for the Special Olympics. The head of landscaping, Mr. Dan Carlson, was working outside and collapsed, and we donated an AED to them in 2014, and another employer retrieved it and was able to bring him back to life. That's and I was able to meet him September 1st, 2017. And I was with New York Liberty, and they did a great job just putting that together. But for me, that's like at the root of who I am, just being a servant unto others and being able to give back, but to do it through the nonprofit Hopi's Heart and to raise awareness of sudden cardiac arrest, which is indiscriminate towards race, age, or gender. You don't have to be active for your heart to suddenly stop. And, you know, for every minute that goes by, 10% survival rate goes down. So it's just very imperative to have this device. So for us to reach 500 is, God willing, is just amazing. So just very fortunate.
That is super dope. Between Hopi's Heart, your budding filmmaking career, you have a lot. So even if you don't play in 2026, I'm super excited to see what you get into.
Yeah, filmmaking, you know, that started with my father. Did Charlie's Records. It premiered at Tribeca Film Festival, then did another one, and have now one in the works right now, and just excited about it. Just being able to be behind the lens, tell stories of unsung heroes. And I just love documentaries. You know, we travel all over the world, and in the between time, I'm always watching documentaries, and I just went for it. So it's gonna be fun getting on the other side eventually.
I'm excited to see. Tina, thank you so much.
Thank you. It's been great. Thank you.
All right, that was part 1 with Tina Charles. Now check out part 2, which we recorded 2 weeks later. All right, man, part 2.
Part 2.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
You should have told me you were going to wear the same jacket. I would have worn the same shirt.
I don't know. It just worked out.
Nobody would have known. Okay, real quick. A lot has actually happened. So we talked 2 weeks ago. You're currently wearing a shoulder pad.
Yes.
In games. What is that about?
Yeah, my shoulder's just acting up. I think it's just a Nix and X of being an older player.
What is the pad?
Oh, it's a lidocaine patch just for it to go numb a little bit, just so I'm not feeling the pain that I'm feeling throughout each and every single day.
Okay, because I did notice that. You also beat Seattle.
Yeah, we won a game.
You won a game.
We won one game.
You won a game. You know, we talked a little bit a couple weeks ago just how hard the season is. Like a lot of losing, you know, new coach, rebuilding, young players.
Yeah, that was coming off of a 10-game losing streak. So it was great just to snap it. We added Layla Lacan, which she's been amazing. Such a difference maker, and just how she's able to read the floor, a willing passer, can create for others. So that definitely opened us up that second half of that game that we just won, for sure. She's definitely was a difference maker.
So you think her addition is kind of what's changing it all?
Yes, it was definitely her, for sure.
Does Marina have like a timeline?
Marina does have a timeline. God willing, I'm hoping after All-Star break.
Okay.
But
cool. I mean, you and her, you guys can be, I feel like this always happens, right? Like the teams that end up being at the bottom of the league, they end up being like the spoilers. It'll be like a team needs 2 wins to get to the playoffs, and then they meet you guys. Yeah. And I'm not trying to like put you out of the playoffs already, but I mean,
I get what you're saying. I mean, throughout my career, I mean, I've been in this position before where it's like, all right, if we're not going to make it, who can we like bust up? But I think we're just going to try to get better, you know, peak at the right time. Just never know how the second half of the season can go. Some teams actually go backwards a little bit or get stuck a little bit. So you just never know.
That's true. All right. So you've obviously had a very successful career. But one of the things we talked about after the last interview was just some of like the tougher moments you've also had in this league. And to be honest, like when you kind of go through, when I started going through some of the things we talked about and then just researching a little bit more, it's like, I might argue that there's no other MVP that's had to deal with some of the stuff you've had to deal with.
Yeah.
So let's go back to 2019. Okay. So you've played in New York for 6 seasons at this point. You guys you've been knocking on the door of getting to the WNBA finals. You've had successful years. Then the 2019 season comes. And they don't bring you back. What was your experience with that?
That was a sad moment. That was very heavy for me. That's where the dream started for me to want to aspire to be in the WNBA. That was one of the first teams that I watched, seeing women that looked like me. Born and raised in New York, the dream for me was to always win a championship in New York. And so I definitely had to grieve that for that time, knowing what they were going to do. And I think as athletes, you hear it all the time that this is a business. You see it across other leagues and happen to other athletes, and you just never know how you're going to personally handle it. So when it happened to me, my beloved team and being home and not being around my friends and what am I going into? It was definitely a sad growing up moment. And, I think it worked out for both sides, obviously where they're at, what they were able to accomplish, but just also who I was able to become through that. And it was 2019. We did go into COVID. I was able to be medically exempt, and I just locked myself into a gym and just got better and just used it to fuel me to be better. I'm a better athlete, a better pro.
What did they say to you, though?
What was said was that they wanted to move forward. Sabrina was coming in. It was going to be a different chapter, a new era. They were bringing in a new coach. But it's not what was said, what wasn't said, and how it wasn't said. I think it's not what you do, but how you do it. And I think that was growth for Jonathan, even himself as a GM. Him and I are on great terms. A lot of respect for the both of us from each other. But I think it was just growing on how I responded to it as well, how I reacted to it as the news as well. So even me as a vet, when I have rookies, or even not even rookies, just even players who's in the middle of their career, it's really one of those, hey, nothing lasts forever. Like, really enjoy it. This is a business. And at sometimes as a player, you have to take business into your own hands, which I've done, which we've just recently seen DB do. And then the narrative shifts a little bit. But all in all, I'm just very thankful for the experience.
Was that the first time you had to face the quote unquote business of sports?
Yeah, I could definitely say that was the first time I had to face the business of sports. And regardless of your stats or who you are or what you've accomplished, every team is going to enter a new era at some point. It's not going to be the same. It's not going to look the same. And sometimes you're not going to be a part of, that next chapter, but it's okay. It's just all about how you handle it. I think that's just how. That's really important.
How did you handle it? Like, how did it change how you moved just in the world of women's basketball from that point on?
Just being very aware. And I think that's the beauty of free agency. You get to see what works best for you, what doesn't work best for you. And then that's how I landed in DC. Yeah.
Okay, so now we get to DC, and we already talked about the great year you had, extending your range, becoming more efficient from three. Like, you're on a little bit of a high. And from what you told me, you wanted to go back.
Yeah.
But then they didn't want you back.
Yeah. So then in DC, you and I, we come from the cloth of Coach Ariema. And with that and seeing him, you become the voice of teams at times. You become the person who's pushing players at times. And at times it's not received in that way that you want it to be received. It goes back to what I said. It's not, what I was doing, but how I was going about it. But I know what my intentions were. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of respect between myself and Coach Mike Tebow. He was still the same person that drafted me and made my dream come true. Back April 2010, going with Connecticut Sun, he was my coach for the first 3 years. So walking away from that, I was able to just see it as, okay, again, free agency, what works, what doesn't work, keep it moving.
Yeah. Okay, so 2021 is also the Olympic year. So I'm gonna take us to the Olympics real fast.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, so we're in Tokyo. And we already talked a little bit about just how USA basketball is hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's like people don't talk about it enough. It's a really difficult experience. Tokyo in and of itself, just given everything, not being able to leave the hotel, COVID, life.
Yeah.
It was just a hard Olympics in general. But I mean, I think that Olympics for a lot of us was a tricky one. And I know for you, it was a change in role. So you went from being a starter to now you're coming off the bench. And it was just hard in general. So, and we'll get to kind of like a moment for you in the Olympics, but just in general, when you look at the Olympics, the lead up to, and then when we get there, like what was happening for you in terms of changing your role?
Yeah, that was definitely different. And I think for me, because when I entered USA Basketball, it was fortunately with Coach Auriemma as the coach for the 2 tours that I've done. And for me, his message to me was, you work hard, you do your job, like this is where you'll be. And so, my first roundabout with USA Basketball, I had to go through Sylvia Fowle, Swin Cash, Aja Jones, Crystal Langhorne, Kia Vaughn, Candace Dupree, Nneka Ogwumike. I mean, all the great players. There's even players that I'm probably forgetting, excuse me. But Candace Parker,
Sylvia Fowle,
yeah. And so coming in and going into Tokyo with Dawn, and then coming off of that first half of the season of which I was having in DC and just where I was at, I think every coach, USA Basketball, or even WNBA in the pros, you go with the players that you trust. And at the end of the day, that's what she did. And I mean, it was working, So for me, it was just to be mature, take that, and just try to be the star in my role, which I want to say I've always done when I put on the USA Basketball uniform.
Yeah. So when you think about just your experience in New York, right? Not being brought back. Same in DC. And then, having a different role. Like, these are like 3 kind of like pivotal moments. Yeah. And I'm curious, like, do you look back on those 3 things and like see how it maybe changed you as a player, as a leader, your understanding of the game?
Yeah, I think the word that comes to mind as you were speaking was just, it was just very humbling. Just very humbling, and was just a chance for growth. I don't think true character is shown until you face adversity, and just how I'm going to choose to respond to it. I can be a pro or I can be a distraction. I could be a part of a solution or I could be a problem. And for me, I always strive to be the latter, a solution, to be a pro, so I can be able to have these conversations with the next generation coming in when they're facing changes, when they're facing, I guess, in a sense of being uncomfortable, how to be comfortable when you are uncomfortable, and just the beauty in that moving forward in just life in general, outside of the sport.
I mean, what you're saying, it's like on paper, that's the exact right answer, but it's not always easy to do. And then I feel like in the world of sports, you then have to tie a performance to that. So for you in the Olympics, we're in pool play, and I just want to set the stage a little bit, because it was an interesting moment, I think, for our team in the pool play, because this Olympics, Tokyo Olympics, they changed the format. So I don't even remember exactly, but there was a bunch of different pools. You obviously play the round robin in your pool, but then the way you qualified, it was based on record, but it was also based on other pools' records. And then obviously it goes to, if there's ties, it's point differential, all that stuff. And what was unique about this was we played France in our final pool play game, and they had lost to Japan in our group. So they were like back against the wall. And for us, we had kind of already qualified. See, like, I can see on your face, you don't even really remember the details, because we didn't really know what was happening. I'm not joking. We were like, cool, I think win or lose, we qualify. Like, obviously we're going to win, and we're going to try to win. It's not that. But for France, they were in a scenario that we didn't realize till after the game, where they couldn't lose by more than 13. Yeah. Give or take. Don't quote me on this, but loosely. They couldn't lose by more than 13. So we were facing a team that was like, oh, we got it. Like, we got to play well. Because, against us, it could be anything. If you mess around, it could be a 20-point game. So with that game meant a lot for France. Yeah. But it was also for us, even though we were going to move on, you're playing against a team that you might see in the medal rounds. Yeah. So it's like, we're not messing around either. Yeah. Trying to set the tone. I mean, we're never messing around, but we're not messing around either. Okay. So with that, first, I'm actually going to start at the end. Okay. Which is, what is your memory of this game? But then who reminded you of this game?
My memory of this game, honestly, I just remember, as you had mentioned, different roles. And it wasn't just me who had a different role. Sylvia Fowles had a different role.
Yeah, you both did.
You know, we both were coming off of the bench. And I remember her and I just talking to ourselves, just talking to amongst each other, just trying to stay engaged with the game, because it's a new role in the sense of, you know, when you have your bench, you know, their process on how they get going for games is different from starters' process, right? So really trying to figure that out. You know, you're sitting there for a while, you're trying not to be disconnected. You know, it's COVID. There's nobody in the gym. You're trying not to let your mind wander as much as you're sitting there for as long. So that's really where my mind was, like, all right, stay engaged. But the game was really back and forth. So it wasn't like it was hard to not stay engaged as if it was a blowout. I want to say the practice before, I had sprained my thumb. We were like practicing a press and someone hits my thumb and like I go out and I'm just like, you know, this hurts, get MRI, like, yeah, you sprained it. I have to put on this like makeshift like cast. So even as I am sitting there seeing the game and I'm feeling my thumb, I'm like, in the back of my mind, I'm also hoping like, you know, I hope I don't go in because the way I'm shooting, I don't know how this is going to go. Just adjusting with this cast that I had on.
Okay. So again, I already set up the whole situation. Did you know that up until that point, that game, you had only attempted in all of your Olympic games, so 20 Olympic games prior, you'd attempted 1 3-pointer.
Yeah, and it's probably a grenade too.
I know, right? Like a 3, 2, 1, shoot
It's
it!
probably a grenade.
You attempted 1. So in the 2 Olympics prior and then the couple games prior to this one, you attempted 1.
Yeah.
And you had only attempted 1 prior to this game in that Olympics,
right.
Which means you hadn't attempted any except for this Olympics.
Yeah, and perspective is coming out of COVID, that's when I really started working on my
no, for sure. I'm just saying. This wasn't like something you were doing.
Yeah.
You, with 59 seconds left in the third in a tight game, you hit a 3. So you hit your first Olympic 3 ever, and you put us up 69-65. We lost the lead, but then you drained another one, as I already mentioned, early in the fourth to give us a 74-72 lead. And then at the 5-minute mark, you hit your third 3, and it puts us up 10. So basically it's like cushion.
Yeah.
Now we're up 10 with 5 minutes. Obviously we're not, you know,
you're
not relaxing, but you're like, okay, exhale.
Right.
And that was when you did this. This is your third 3.
Is that the bow and arrow?
Sure is.
You see the cast?
Oh, just a little pull out the back and a ding. I mean, when I saw you, I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago, but when I saw you, because I'm dual pass to you, but I'm like when I saw you go bop, bop from the back, I was like, oh no, she didn't just pull out the bow and arrow. Third 3 in her life, she pulls out the bow and arrow.
But again, I also didn't know what was like happening.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it was really great that I wasn't really aware of the situation with France. Yeah. I just came in. I was just like, I'm just going to go out, do my thing, try to make an impact. And that's exactly what happened.
But more than anything, it's like what I was saying. It's like all the things you said about, you know, being confronted with adversity and kind of like, you know, you have a fork in the road. Yeah. It's easy to say it on paper, but it's different to actually live it and then perform. Yeah. And in this sscenario, you performed. Yeah. Like we needed that. We don't win that game without that boost. You know, you also, you didn't just have the 3s. You did other things as well. Like I said, I just look at the box. But yeah, and then I think my favorite part of the story is how somebody reminded you of it.
Yeah, so then now I'm playing for Fenerbahce this past season, and I'm with Valerie, who was at the time the coach of France. And she reminds me that I made these 3s, and she was just like, I didn't even know that you make 3s. And she said the same thing as you, like the previous Olympics, you only attempted 1, maybe 2. And I was like, yeah, I said, the funny thing is I didn't know how important that game was for you all. I was just going out, just having fun. I got minutes and making the best of it.
Yeah, like I said, we ended up winning by 11. I feel like the number for them was 13.
It was.
So they were one more Tina Charles 3-pointer away from not advancing. Yeah. And they ended up winning a bronze medal. Yeah. So that was like a huge game for them.
It was. It was a special moment though. It was. Yeah, it was fun. Yeah. It was fun for me.
The arrow was the best part, by far. Something else you brought up a couple weeks ago was just almost like your advice to kids who are playing USA basketball, like what you've learned from it and how it's the one moment It's a rebound, a deflection.
Yeah.
You know, obviously in this case, we're talking about a couple threes, but it's just the one moment that might arise. And that is where your impact lives. And that's what you have to practice for, focus on, not necessarily like how you play in your WNBA team. And I don't know if you were paying attention, but recently the AmeriCup team went down to Chile. So it's college kids that go.
Okay.
Because obviously everybody's playing in the WNBA.
Is this Kara's team?
Yeah. So Kara Lawson's the coach.
Yeah.
And it's Olivia Miles, Hannah Hidalgo, Michaela Blakes, who was MVP, a bunch of like Madison Booker. You can go down the list.
Yeah.
And the best thing I saw was like your words come to life. I watched the final. It's college kids. They're playing against Brazil in the final. This, by the way, qualifies us for the World Cup.
Okay.
So it's like a big thing. Oh. And they're playing against Dantas. They're playing against Cardozo. They're playing against all the pros that Brazil has. And a couple things I saw. One, Flau'jae Johnson didn't really play much. She was coming off the bench all tournament, didn't really play much. Comes in the game. I think it was the fourth quarter. Comes in the game, goes over pick and roll. I think the player tries to, throw it back to the popper. She gets her hand on the ball, tips it, somebody else steals it, layup. And I was like, that's the moment.
Yeah.
So Flau'jae is probably going to think back potentially on the finals, like maybe, just like in her own mind, not in a complaining way. Like, man, I didn't play much.
Yeah.
Flau'jae, you actually literally helped win the game.
Yeah.
She doesn't do that. You don't know because it was tight.
It is.
And then Hannah Stuelke, post player from Iowa, there was like a 3-minute span where it felt like she got like every defensive rebound, gave Dantas like just enough resistance. Dantas had 35, by the way. I mean, it was like grown women amongst.
Yeah.
She was just like backing them down. It was so funny. But yeah, just like a 3-minute span. And it was just really cool to kind of like see your words come to life in these young kids.
Yeah. I mean, even at like that age, it's probably even harder, especially with social media now, the NIL, and just what you mean to your institution. But again, USA is one of the most uncomfortable situations as a player that you will ever actually be fortunate to be into, in the sense that only two people get to be comfortable and be able to have their role. And then you have to figure out what your role is. Not that you haven't been doing it, but this is just what's needed more. You're checking yourself at the door, sacrificing the me for the we. And there's going to be a moment where you get a rebound, or it's an outlet pass, or it's a deflection that really gives you that feeling of, man, I had that 30-point game.
Yeah.
Totally. like you walk away with that. And that's exactly what I walked away after that France game was like, man, I really, that was that moment. Yep. And I've always had one of those moments in the Olympics. And it's just great when you get around those players and you get to reminisce and talk about it as we're doing now. But it's really special to be able to put yourself second.
Yeah. I know this AmeriCup team, you're going to hear, if you go and like search it up right now, it would be Hannah Hidalgo's performance, Olivia Miles. I already said Michaela Blakes was MVP. Yeah. That's what's going to be in that story.
But it's Flau'jae.
But it's Flau'jae's deflection.
And she'll be able to take that and the leader that she is to her LSU team for someone that she needs who's like in the depth of the bench. Like, hey, I had this moment. You're going to have your moment too. And then when she gets into the WNBA, it's always going to stay with her. And I hope it does. So shout out to her.
Same. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you brought up, it's so uncomfortable. There's so many stories when we sit back and reminisce. Yeah. And that's why I'm going to bring up the story of all stories.
This is the best
I don't
story.
even know.
I don't even remember it, but I
remember it vividly.
Just hearing it, it's like, if it wasn't me, I'd be like, yeah, you're definitely talking about Tina. Like as far as the conversation
the passing,
coming up to you.
The lack thereof. All right. How do I even begin to tell this story? I remember exactly where we were.
I don't remember it at all.
Okay.
Is this Paris? This is Paris?
We're in Paris. And we're heading, we played in like a
We're heading to Czech Republic,
We're heading to the Czech Republic for the World Cup. Okay. So that year was one of those years where those of us that aren't in the WNBA playoffs are like off doing training camp, getting ready. And then like we're getting players as the playoffs is like ending, right? So sadly what that means is, and this is another part of USA basketball, that's just the reality of it. There's no way around it, but it does suck, is that as we're going through this training camp and we went to Paris, I think we even went to Italy. We were like all over. As players start to come, they start to make cuts. So we're now on the last day where there's some players who are with us, like 3-4, that are going to get cut and have to go home while the rest of us go off. And so how they did the cuts this year was they had you come in to a room with Coach Auriemma and Carol Callan, sit you down and like tell you your fate, basically. D and I were obviously like the captains of the team, whatever. So we were, by and large, we kind of knew we were on the team.
Yeah.
So we did our meeting together. They had us do it together. I don't know why, but they did. So we go into this room and they're like, hey, just want to let you know, like you've made the team. And then they're just kind of like chatting to us.
Probing.
Yeah, just like general questions like, how did things feel? Like, do you feel like, blah, 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 blah. And we're just chatting. And this part I actually don't remember exactly like who, when, where, what. But your name comes up. We have a conversation about it. Cool. We leave the room and they're like, all right, whatever. We had planned. It's our last night in Paris. Yeah. So we're like, we're going out tonight.
We're going out tonight, but we're going to meet up to eat. We're going to pregame and then we're going to pop out. Yeah, I remember.
So me, Dee, and some others, we go out to a restaurant like not far. And I remember we hit you up. We're like, yo, when's your meeting? You're like, this time. We're like, all right, this is where we are. Just come meet us after. Cool. So we're just sitting down, doing our thing, eating some food. In walks Tina. You sit down. And we're like, yo, how'd your meeting go?
Already lit a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. Yo, how'd your meeting go? And you're like, yeah, good. Like, I'm on the team. Ha ha ha. We're like, yeah, da da da. And she's like, I'm acting like you're not sitting in front of me. And then you were like, but Coach Auriemma told me you two said I don't pass enough. And we were like, I actually think the words were, Coach Auriemma said, you two call me a black hole. And we were like, I've never in my life. So those that know me and Dee, obviously you know how different we are. In those moments, I was just kind of like frozen a little bit, and Dee went into like word diarrhea. She was just like, oh no, trying to like cover it up. I've never in my life felt the way I felt in that moment. Because it was true. We did say this.
Yeah.
But the fact that you just, came straight to us.
Oh, that was New York. We gonna talk about it.
Oh, we started the last interview like,
we gonna talk about it.
I'm from New York. This is what it is.
Yeah.
First of all, I couldn't believe you came straight to us.
I mean, for me, like, I know I'm saying the New York thing. It's like I have to go to the person. Like, I'm not gonna go to this person and this person. Like, you have to go to the person. Mm-hmm. That's just the code of conduct when you come from New York.
So what were you thinking, like, walking over to dinner? Like, oh, I gotta ask him.
It wasn't even something on my mind. I thought it was something like, okay, they tell me I shoot a lot, but then if I start passing, they're gonna be like, Tina, why was you shooting the ball? And then it's like, so it wasn't even, for me, it was more so like this is funny, like, but also I know it's serious. Like, by the way, he also said that you called me a black hole, by the way. My way of getting here.
Even sitting here now, I'm so uncomfortable.
Oh, trust me, I face worse. It's fine.
What would you like to share those? No. Yeah. So that happened and we did recover. I don't even know what the hell we said to you, but we were just like, no, kind of.
For me, it was more so putting you all on the spot just to see like what it was, but also just to learn at the same time.
I think the reality was, and we talked about this, the reality was like
first World Cup? Was that my first?
Yes, 2010. So yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going into my first World Cup. So it was also to learn like, okay, what more or less to do or so on and so forth as well.
Yeah. Because this is also a part of USA basketball. It's like everybody can score.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody can go one-on-one. Everybody can do this. Everybody can do that. So if somebody is doing it too much, or like unnecessarily doing it, maybe in your case as a post player, maybe you're double teamed and shooting it, because in the WNBA you would do that.
Yes.
It then becomes like, okay.
Then why are we here for?
Yeah, not why are we here, but like, why not just give it to Maya wide open?
Yeah.
You don't have to do the hard one because there's an easy one right there. Like
exactly.
Really what I'm trying to say is, the more you play with USA basketball, the more I think you do start to get a feel and understanding of it never has to be hard.
Mm-hmm.
If it's too hard, it means you probably shouldn't be doing it because it means somebody else is open.
Exactly.
That's, I think, where we were coming
from. And that's what I learned from it.
Yes.
And so it was also to learn, but it was also to like put you guys on the spot at the same time. Because up to that point, I had been around you guys and knowing you guys. I knew it was going to be a funny moment, but also a teaching moment too.
It was so funny. Yeah. And, we're not going to let Coach Auriemma get off free here because that was the thing that I really couldn't believe. I could not believe he did that.
I actually could though.
I cannot believe he did that.
I could. It didn't actually go over my head. I didn't sit there like, oh my gosh. No.
No, forget you. I couldn't believe he would do that to us. Seriously. So
I saw it from his eyes in a sense, like, yeah, you're letting Sue and Dee down by shooting some. That's how it came in my mind.
But he didn't have to say we said it.
Yeah, that's how it came across in my mind.
So the next day, we were traveling. We were in the airport. Me and Dee are like waiting. When we saw him, we're like, yo, can we talk to you? And we're like, why did you tell Tina that we said that. And he's like, well, she needs to hear it from her teammates. And I was like, no, she needs to hear it from you. Coming from us is different. Now, is there a place and space for a teammate to have that conversation with a teammate? Absolutely. Yeah. On their terms.
Yeah.
On their terms. Not
that's
like
true.
Some behind some saying it behind a back. And then, so yeah, we were pissed at him.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we were so mad at him. I couldn't believe he did that.
Yeah. And he turned up that night though. It was great.
Yeah, we had a great night. The night ended up being amazing.
Yeah.
The night ended up being amazing. All right. Okay. So back to the WNBA, just like some of your final seasons, like really since 2022, you've been like up, down, all over the place. Yeah. So like 2022, you signed with Phoenix.
Yeah.
We already discussed how that didn't pan out. You get traded midseason, but we didn't discuss being on the team when Dee and Skylar got into it on the bench that one game.
Yeah.
Just how that impacted you.
You know, like even just backtracking, like going into that season was like really like the first time you were going to see that type of, I don't know, super team with what that team was supposed to reflect, and even with the depth that we had coming off the bench. And so it had to be like one of the first in WNBA histories in a sense. Maybe outside of you guys in Seattle when like Cheryl Swoops got there and Swin and it was that type of blend.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm OG. Yeah. But then like with Sue and Dee, I think
Skylar and Dee.
The Skylar and Dee, the closest that I can relate them to was like a Kobe and Shaq dynamic. You know, that anyone notable can just put in their minds, like just two great competitors wanting to get the best out of each other. And how to go about it is just not translating. And sometimes these scenarios work out, and sometimes it doesn't. And so, yeah, for me, it was hard because both of them are just probably the top two competitors I've ever been paired with.
Yeah, fiery
and
too.
I've been very fortunate and blessed to witness their approach, you know, witness how they go about the game, what gets them going, how they get their other players involved and going. And, you know, I think I said it to you off camera, like every day you're meeting somebody where they're at. You know, every day someone is coming in with something and it's your choice to have grace, your choice to have patience and to be understanding. And so even though obviously it didn't work out, but I think it worked out in the end for both, where Phoenix, how she ended, Sky being in Seattle and flourishing and what she's able to do right now with that team. So it was just great to have been able to witness from afar, again, both of them, you know, being back in a position of positivity and being able to flourish, not only as players, but also as just individuals.
Yeah, so speaking of meeting people where they're at, you then come to Seattle.
Yeah.
And, you know, we talked. It was an adjustment. You weren't starting when you first got here, then moved into the starting spot. We hit the playoffs. I will repeat it. We just needed like a couple more weeks and things would have. But you shared a story with me that I wasn't even aware of. So, Tina, why didn't you meet me where I was at? You want to share it?
The story. Yeah, so we just got back to Seattle from playing the first two games at Vegas in the semifinals. And so we're watching film. We're in the locker room. We watched the first bit of film, and then the slide comes on, and it literally says good clips. And it's Stewie and I on each block. The ball's on the strong side on Stewie's side. I flash to the high post. Whoever the wing player is passes it in to me. My man drops in front of Stewie. Her man's behind her. I can't pass it to Stewie. I take the shot. It goes in. No, he pauses it, and she goes, "That was a good shot, Tina. Like, that's what we need." And you speak up and you say, "Yeah, Tina, that's a good shot, but you have to look for Stewie." And in my mind, I'm like, I don't know what to do here.
I need to see this clip.
In my mind, I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm just going to pass it. Cool. That's what she wants. That's what she wants. That's why she brought me here to pass it. Cool. I'm just going to pass it. So then
Speaking of maturity.
So then we start practice and we're doing 5-on-0 transition. We're doing different things. And I'm just passing it every single time. 5-on-0, you know, the first man down is supposed to be a layup. pump fake, pass it out to the 3. I'm hearing the huffing and puffing, and in my mind, I'm just like, nope, this is what they want. They want me to pass it.
They or Sue?
I'm gonna pass it every single time. And yeah, I was just like, yeah, that was probably like a low light for sure. I mean, I could laugh about it now.
Didn't Piff say something?
Yeah, Piff definitely came up to me. She was like, come on, yo,
bro,
stop doing that, man. Like, da-da-da. I was like, nah, Sue want me to pass the ball? She don't want me to shoot it? Cool. This is what she brought me here for? I'm gonna pass the ball. Piff is like, nah, chill, B. Like, nah, you gotta do all that. But yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, I mean, you told me this 2 weeks ago. It's the first time I heard of it. I didn't even notice. I was like, oh, fine, she's finally passing. God, what a great practice. But yo, what happened in game 3?
Nah, game 3, yeah. I was
honestly,
you were finally
you were dropping dimes.
Yeah. It was finally clicking.
You fucking played your best game.
Yeah, it was finally clicking. Everything was clicking.
So I guess it worked.
Yeah.
That's funny. Okay, we already know what happened at the end of that season. Next season comes 2023. You don't play.
Yeah.
You don't get signed. So what's happening for you?
Yeah, so 2023, I think that's where the humility definitely set in. I've been at the highs of highs, had the lows of lows, didn't play that year. And I really had to figure out, my identity outside of basketball. Mm-hmm. Who am I outside of basketball? It's something I've been doing my whole life. It really felt as if you're married to someone and that person just leaves. It was sort of like a constant in my life, just suddenly stopped, and not knowing how to adjust to that. So there was a period of time where I was just like struggling. I couldn't watch, going into the summer. So I couldn't watch the WNBA. I did not watch anything. I just remember I went to Fort Greene Park, and I think persons who are not spoken about enough in our league are our chaplains, and just how fortunate we are to have that 60 minute of every league. You have chapel and you can go. And I'm close with the New York Liberty chaplains. I'm Yvette Hamilton and Vanessa Holiday. And I was at Fort Greene Park in Brooklyn. I was living in Brooklyn at the time. And we met up. And she just sat down next to me and she said, when's the last time you played? And I said, since we've been eliminated. And that was like September, second week in September. And right now, it probably was like July, August. I just did not touch a ball. And she said to me simply just like, how do you want this story to be told? Do you want it to be told in a sense like this is what happened and then you just stopped? And so I slowly got back into the gym. Then I had an opportunity to play in China. Mm-hmm. And then that's when I found the love for the game again. And that's when I started playing. And I was just like, you know what? If the opportunity is there, January of 2024 to play, that I would love to play. Let's see what it is. And that's when the opportunity with Atlanta came about. But honestly, that 2023 year was probably like the best year out of all the years, in the sense of to be able to slow down, to be able to recollect, to be able to see God's faithfulness. I actually went to Bible college, New York School of the Bible. I was able to get into the Word and really restore my faith and just really lean on Him in the sense like, all right, Lord, if this is where you have me, I'm just going to trust it. If it's the end, it's the end. Nobody wants to end not on the court and not on their terms. But if this is what it is for me, I'm just going to trust where you're going to place me next and just keep having faith. And then 2024 comes around and had opportunity with Atlanta.
So you really feel like you were in a place where if the Atlanta call doesn't come and that ends up just being the end of your WNBA story, you would have been okay with that?
Yeah. That's just how built up of my faith that I was. Like, Lord, if this is your will for my life, if this is what it is, I trust where you're going to place me next. That's just how built up in faith I was. Yeah.
So how would you describe how you feel now that you did get to play again in Atlanta? You are still playing in Connecticut. Is it a sense of like gratitude, like you're thankful for it? Or is it more like, is it more just like allowing you to feel even stronger about your faith? Like things always work out the way they're supposed to.
Yeah.
This was meant for me.
Yeah, I would say that. I think every time I have this type of conversation, I always say, God gets the glory. Worked out for my good, and He got the glory in the sense that I got to see His faithfulness on the other side. But even if it wasn't what I wanted, I knew that I would be walking in the path that He had for me. If my career would have ended with you all in Seattle, I'd have been like, all right, if that was just the amount of years, that's what it was. And it was great. And I would have just pulled the positives, pulled the highlights and the lowlights of who it made me to be. But I would have wanted to speak on this for players to know, like, you're going to have highs, you're going to have lows, but don't give up within it if it's something that you still love. And it was what I loved. And again, I didn't touch a ball for probably a year. For probably a year, I didn't do anything, didn't touch a ball, didn't watch basketball, nothing.
No, there's so much wrapped up. I mean, I can say it now as a retired player. It's like, which is totally different. But there's so much identity wrapped up in all of this. Like who you are and what you do, you know, being one and the same is not like the healthiest place. But as a professional athlete, it kind of is. Who you are and what you do is kind of the same because you're like living it. You're not ever, I always say it's not, and this is not, I never want to compare other careers, but we as athletes, you're never checking anything. You're never leaving anything at the office. It's just always ever present. It's never, you can never leave anything at the office. So it's just hard to do that separation.
Yeah, it was. And, you know, I didn't speak to anyone. I was really to myself. I was very isolated. Only a select few really knew how hard that year was for me. But more importantly, just being able to be present in 2024 with Atlanta, to be able to go out and do my job and to be a pro coming off of that. That's what was special for me, was to be able to see that through.
Yeah, get to the other side.
Yeah.
All right. Before we go, last time we were here, we mentioned one of the more insane stories that I've ever heard. I call it an all-timer. It does involve a potential drug test. I feel like it's time to share it.
Yeah. So it's April 2014. I'm playing in Russia with Dynamo Moscow. I'm playing with Lindsay Whalen and Chrissy Tolliver. Great year. Love both of them. I want to say we just end regular season, getting ready to go into Euro Cup. And for some reason, we have 10 days off. So after the game, we win, we're hyped. And he's like, hey, you guys have off. So I'm like, oh, clutch. Lindsay tells me where she's going. Chrissy's going home. We're all going home. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go home. Then I'm going to go to the Final Four in Nashville. So go to Nashville, and I'm with Kalena. And I go to her hotel. And it's probably, maybe, 3 days already, whatever. And then it's like, I think we're going into the championship game. And so, there was a Tootsie Roll on the desk. And I'm just like, oh, Tootsie Roll. I haven't had a Tootsie Roll that long. Let me have it. And she's in the shower. So grab the Tootsie Roll, eating. And even to this day, I don't even remember anything being different. Get to the game. And I'm like, whoa. Everything just ended up, what? The Tootsie Roll ended up being an edible. And so.
Wasn't she like, yo, where's my Tootsie Roll?
Yeah, she was also like, where's my Tootsie Roll? But even at that point, she doesn't say anything to me though. You know, so then not until it hits me. And so take the edible. Never did edibles up to that point. It was my first one. And so, I'm feeling good. You know, I'm at the game feeling good.
How many milligrams?
It could have been 20.
Oh my God.
Could have been 20. 20? Could have been, or 15, 10 or something. Yeah. Ended up feeling good. We win.
It's like a nightmare.
We won the championship.
UConn. UConn wins.
Yeah, UConn wins. And so I have to go back to Russia. So now when I get back, our Dobo, if you want to say, he calls me and he goes, Tina, you have drug testing. And my heart just falls.
Before you continue, I just want to set something up. Okay. Yeah. First of all, marijuana in FIBA. So when you get tested in FIBA, which is WADA, different from the WNBA, as an example, is in the category of steroids and shit. You get banned 2 years. Weed, one pop, you're done, 2 years. So 2014, you're not playing.
Exactly.
You're not playing that World Cup.
And you're not playing
in the Olympics. And you're not playing in the Olympics because if you do have that happen, you are suspended 2 years.
Yes.
Your clock restarts if you play anywhere else. So if you played in the WNBA in 2014, 15, or 16, your clock would restart.
Yeah.
So you're either not playing for 2 years, period, or you're just not going to go to the Olympics.
Exactly.
Or the World Cup.
So I didn't know those.
Which is wild. Legit. I want to add one thing.
Go ahead.
They never tested us in Russia.
That's bizarre.
I never got drug tested in Russia.
That's bizarre.
Anytime we traveled, it was like, I always believed there was just like, they didn't want to get the visa. It was like these like drug testers, like WADA, whatever, they didn't want to come over to Russia. I never in my entire time over there saw a drug test or got drug tested in Russia. Anytime we left, yeah, they'd come grab us.
That's bizarre.
So this is just crazy, like from the jump.
So I didn't know obviously all of that, but I did know, okay, World Cup, Olympics. I knew it was something.
Yeah, you knew it was serious.
I knew it was serious. And my heart just like drops. And I'm like, what? He's like, yes, you and Lindsay have drug testing, whatever. Come to the gym early. Get up, hang up, call Kalena. And I'm just like, yo, remember the edible that I just took, like, by accident, this is what it is. And she's just like, all right, you gotta take like shots of vinegar and water. Shots of vinegar and water. I probably downed a bottle of vinegar.
And this is like 3, 4, 5 days after you've taken the edible.
No, this is probably 2 days after. You have to understand, because it's like championship. It's fresh. And then, so that's why I was freaking out.
Fuck. I mean, even 5 days, I'd be freaking out.
Yeah, so, so now I have to go to the gym and, she does her thing, and she's like, bro, you can't breathe, bro? You need some beer, bro? Need to go get a whole garden, bro? I got you, bro. Like, Weezy, just like, yep. And so like, I'm like sweating bullets. I'm like nervous and everything. So I try to go before and it doesn't meet the pH. It looks clear like water. Practice, go, clear. If practice probably was like at 5 p.m., I didn't leave there until like 10. It's like a table full of just different tests, and the ladies,
diluted.
Yes, the ladies getting pissed. It's not me reaching the level. She has to go, and then that was just that.
And then she just left.
She just left.
This is something else I've never heard of.
That was just
they
that.
Don't
They
just
couldn't.
leave.
They couldn't test me anymore. Like they ran out of containers.
You peed them out of containers.
They ran out of containers.
That's crazy.
And like probably not until we got to camp and we had dinner. It was me, you, Wei, and D.
Yeah.
And then I remember I was sitting next to Wei and I was like, hey, remember that day? And da-da-da-da.
You hadn't told her up until that point?
I didn't tell her up until that point. I didn't say anything. I was like panicky, freaking out. But yeah.
I would have been freaking out.
Don't take candy from anywhere.
Yeah, that's the lesson. I mean, don't they teach that? Don't take candy from strangers? I guess Clayton is not a stranger, but.
It was crazy. It was just a table full of different like.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but vinegar and water though.
I know. So it's like, what people don't know is when you get drug tested, you get this little cup, you got to fill it up to a certain thing. And then they do like a tiny little pH test and it has to be at a certain number or else it's considered diluted. And I think it's like for this reason. And or there's probably like, you can't get what you need out of diluted pee. But anyways, and you have to go again. You just sit there and have to go again. Yeah. Or if you don't fill the cup up enough. Exactly. You got to freaking sit there and wait and go again. I mean, I was top 3 things I don't miss.
I was freaking out. I was like, is this how I'm going to go out? Yeah. A Tootsie Roll? I just wanted a Tootsie Roll. Like,
Tootsie took you out.
Yeah. I was just like, I just wanted a Tootsie Roll. I haven't had one since like Halloween when I was like 8 or something like that.
Sweet Tooth got you?
Man, yeah. I was like, yeah. Yeah, it was scary. It was very
scary.
Spooky.
No, that story, I mean.
It was spooky.
Oh my God. There's so many stories like this, but that one, I mean, I can't believe you out-peed the drug tester.
Yeah.
Where they were like, I gotta go. Was the person Russian? Do you even know?
I don't know. Okay. I have no clue because it was for FIBA, because we were in Euro Cup, so it wasn't like Russian league. Yeah. It was for FIBA. Yeah. Yeah. Out of this world, and then they just left, and that was that. I asked my Dobo if they were coming back, and he was like, he was a no, and that was it. Again. Yeah. That was it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah. That was it.
All right. That's it. All right, that is it for Tina Charles and our first 2-part episode. Those might have to happen again. We'll see. So much fun talking to Tina. Obviously, we have so much history, so it was really cool to reminisce, to hear her side of things. And you know what? Here's hoping that she follows me one more time and makes it to year 20. We'll see. All right, that's it. This episode is a co-production of Together and Vox Media. Our producers are Tommy Alter, Jason Gallagher, Richie Bozek, Harry Krinsky, and Jess Clarendon, Melanie Carter, and a special thanks to Ramon Dampour.